two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming. They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I was like, why is the intro playing twice? What is happening right now?
I thought something happened. I thought it was me. I'm like, what, am I in the wrong wrong room?
No, it just started again. I was like, what's happening here? So, hello, everybody. Welcome back to a Thursday night edition, the only edition of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, Sarge?
Oh, the arm's better. I'm in physical therapy. I'm almost to the end of this.
So when are you going back to work?
Probably another 3 weeks. I gotta go to therapy. For 3 weeks.
Friday, November 15th, Todd the Gator asked to come on his show again, so if you're available.
It's cutting it close. That's probably like right around the time I'm supposed to go back. We got to.
It's probably the day you're starting back up.
We'll go 3 weeks. We'll start Monday, right? Yeah. Start Monday and go 3 weeks from Monday.
Okay, I don't have a calendar in front of me, so
I'm trying to give you the heads up here. I'm looking. Hang on.
I think that is 3 weeks.
Today's the 24th. 28th is the first one. That's 1, 2, 3 weeks. It'd be the 18th.
Oh,
so
then you would
make it. That'd be good.
Okay, so Generation X Gaming. You can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. You can also watch us over on Spotify as well. We do gaming news, rants, and yeah, that's about it. That's about what we do here. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Try to protect young people's wallets.
That's right.
Try to make people better educated consumers. What do you mean that's all we do? We do a lot of stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Trying to teach Travis how to talk to people in public. I mean, we're doing all kinds of goodwill here.
Yeah, we do lots of stuff. On today's show, we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed. We're going to talk about the day before. We're going to talk about Palworld. We're going to talk about Sony PlayStation. We're going to talk about the Xbox Series X, Helldivers 2. We're going to talk about Space Marines 2. We're going to talk about World of Warcraft. We're going to talk about studios shutting down. We're going to talk about Netflix. We're going to talk about Chick-fil-A, Sarge. But we're going to talk about also what we've been playing. And I played a lot of games this past week. Most of them on stream, so you guys know what I played. But those of you that don't know what I played a lot of demos, and I'm hooked. I went from one simulator to another simulator, and I'm hooked. It's got its grasp in me, which is TCG Simulator, which is the trading card simulator game. Is super addictive. So what's going on, Dan? What's going on, Robert Jones? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Water Bear? Who am I missing? Krebsy, Dustin. Good evening. All right, so let's go to. Sorry, I read something else, and all right, let's go to a chat. It's still loud. I haven't had time to edit this stuff. Okay,
pull your headphones away from your head, guys.
If you're wearing headphones,
pull your headphones away from your head.
Just pull your headphones away from your ear. Lower the television sets because we're about to jam. All right, Sarge.
It sounds like in the middle of that it's getting ready to do a break and like break out. Instead it starts to trail off. It's like anticlimactic. Like I get all into it, and I'm waiting for the crescendo, and then it just starts
pulls it right out from over you. So another week. What have you been playing?
Oh crap!
And don't lead what we played last night. Well, you can end with that.
Does it matter? Pardon me. I was full apparently. Well, when you're bored and you're looking at Steam, stuff gets a little crazy.
Yeah, you start to pick certain games out there.
Yeah, I once again couldn't sleep, so I sat up looking at stuff on Steam, which is probably the worst thing you can do when you're bored. And I had to talk myself out of buying like 3 or 4 things that I just wanted to try. And I'm like, nope, I don't need to buy this. I'll just wait. There's no reason to get this yet. I'll just wait. Like, I know I came this close because of all the new mods coming out and that what is it called? NVS 6 thing for Skyrim. I almost got Skyrim on my PC. Almost. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not really going to play it. Let's not do it. And I actually played 2 hours more. That's all I could squeeze out of myself of Baldur's Gate 3, right? With the correct character. It's a very good game. It is a very good game. I played myself. I was looking for punishment, and I played Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, did you go back to Darkest Dungeon?
I have it on it's on my library in my Xbox, and that game has no mercy for anybody. Like as soon as the way that game is made, as soon as you think you have your team figured out, the game just knows how to just jab you, right? I learned probably after maybe 30 hours of playing, don't have any favorites. Don't say that this is your favorite character. Don't think that this is your guy to go to. Don't like this is my DH. This is the guy I'm going to go to when I need to get a good guy on base type of thing. Like, don't bother,
right? Because
the game inevitably finds a way to choke you out, and spit you out.
Yeah. I used to like playing it on stream back in the day because we would take people's names from the chat and make them the characters, and then we see how long they could last out in the game, which was pretty fun. Yeah, it's crazy difficult, especially because every time you're like, hey, we're doing pretty good. We got like 3 wins, no one's lost, and all of a sudden it goes horribly wrong. Horribly wrong.
All right. And once again, I don't know why I play these old games, but it just brings back some happy memories from the past. And I found the free version. It's a free version. It was on PC of Armor Alley. I've told you this before. Rescue Raiders. It was called Rescue Raiders originally. Yeah. So I was playing that one for like a hard difficulty for a while. It's not an easy game, right? All it is a mouse and some keyboard buttons, and you have to go from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. And good luck with that. Like I remember why I liked it, because it was the game I had on disc that was pirated that I used to play in my computer class. Because I hated my teacher, right? So we used to put the game in, and that's how I learned how to do close windows and stuff, like in DOS, like in the old DOS programs, like how to close things and keep things off to the side. I was good when I was younger. I don't care anymore now.
Yeah, no,
but like
you're terrible
right?
now.
I'm terrible. Like, and so I played that and Prince of Persia, like the original Prince of Persia.
The original Prince of Persia.
The original.
Yeah.
The original one. But this is why I'm the old guy. Like I played all these games already. Like everything I see now is a remake of something. It's fine.
I have a question for chat right now, right? How many of you right now are playing like indie games, simplistic games, older games? Like how many of you guys are playing games? Because Robert Jones says he's playing Warcraft 1 and 2 right now, right?
You know what I do like every once in a while?
I'm playing independent games, simulator type games.
I will tell you what to play to cleanse your palate. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Right? There are so many really good pinball games.
I always want to play a pinball, but here's the difference between playing a virtual pinball and an actual pinball.
Bro, I'm telling you, they have the physics down. The pinball.
Can I bump the machine? Can I do the bump the machine? Yeah.
Yes. Some of the pinball games that they have out, if you're a pinball guy from back in the day, they're so good. And here's the best part. Some of the ones they have are, made up, but there are some that are actually the real machines from back in the day.
Do I have to turn my screen long ways to make it feel like it's an actual pinball machine?
No, you could play,
or does it follow it as it goes?
Well, it depends. There's some ones where the screen's up high, directly above, and there's some where it's almost like a 3/4 view.
Okay.
And you're playing like you'd be standing in front of the pinball machine. They do the above view a little bit more because then you can actually see where you want to hit the ball.
Dolphin says no, you can't hump the machine. No one's humping the machine. You're just giving
It's the little hip check. That's how you play.
A little bit of the hip check.
That's how you play.
You're not jabbing it with your man bits. You're hitting it with your hip.
Yeah, the little hip check.
No one's thrusting the machine like this.
I'm telling you, every once in a while I find some pinball. Like there are a lot of crappy ones, sure, because everyone wants to play pinball. I used to play pinball stuff before, but the physics and things that they have now are just incredible. Just for shits and giggles. And it's set up the same way. Like you put a quarter in the machine, you only got 3 balls. You have to figure out how to get more balls, type of thing. It's not like unlimited play type of deal. It's meant to be. You know, if you could do it.
Do you know what I found at Costco a couple weeks ago? An actual pinball machine, but it's a digital one. It's a full length pinball machine, but it's digital, so it's a television screen like in there, and it has the buttons that you hit and stuff. It was so much fun.
I deal with it because I'm at home. I can't have 15 or 25 actual pinball machines in my room.
You can just change them. There's
like
a 400 pinball machines
out somewhere. I like the physical pinball machine.
We have one of the world's largest pinball museums over here as well.
We have a pinball museum in Delray.
You have it in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, Delray. That's it. Yeah. We have one over here in Desertland. Desert. I think it's called Desertland. It's a indoor flea market that got turned down and. They couldn't do anything. Indoor go-kart track and bowling alley and axe throwing.
They have pinball machines in there from the 60s, 70s, 80s, like the progression of what the machines look like. Like the ones back in the 60s, 50s and the 60s, there's so much playroom in the middle. They never jammed it up. It was all skill.
Now it's got like loop-to-loops.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Still to this day, I'm talking about real pinball machines now. To this day, my favorite pinball machines ever was Theater of Magic, Addams Family, and the first version of the Star Wars one with the video screen in
the Star Wars one. That's the one they have in this virtual one. The virtual one, the real but virtual one. They have the original
Addams
Star Wars
Family
one.
Yeah. It was such a good pinball machine.
Yeah.
Theater of Magic, unbelievable.
Yeah. What else? What else have you been playing?
You know, I'm finally getting my arm back. I'm almost getting ready to go back to play Hell Let Loose, but just not quite yet. I did play some PvP with Company Heroes 3. And then since I was in RTS mood, I did Company Heroes 3. I did Dawn of War 2. Then I did Dune.
Back to Dune.
Battle for Arrakis. Yeah, I did like 3 in a row.
I have a question for you.
6 hours.
Planet Coaster 2 is coming out. You interested in that?
I don't have the time. Like, it looks amazing, right? But the amount of time I spent just on Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, making the parks.
I remember playing Theme Park back in the day, man.
That one is so detailed. I don't have the time. Like,
I watched someone make
when I play a PvP match for one of the games I just spoke about, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours if everyone's good.
The last time I played it, I spent 3 hours just on the gate.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't have making
time.
The entrance to the park. I spent like 3 hours on it.
I don't have time. You know which ones the one I still liked for a while for the simulation games. I liked the hospital one. I don't know. It's called 3 point hospital.
Yeah. 3 point, 2 point.
Is it 2 point? I can't remember if it's 2 point.
I know what you're talking about though. Yeah,
right. Yeah. And then I liked the one where you're the villain, where you're the actual bad guy. Right? Is it? I'm gonna lose the name now. Something villain.
Evil Genius.
Evil Genius.
Yeah.
Where you're on the volcanic island, like you're a James Bond villain.
There's 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like and I'd say it again. I like that game because you're the bad guy, right? I would like to see a game made well, right, on a Spider-Man level, right? But you're the bad guy. Right? Just to change it up. Because I know people secretly don't want to be the bad guy. And so what you would be doing is you'd be forcing them to play the good game that's a bad guy because you want to be the good guy. Like people say they want to be the bad guy, but there was a couple of things that there was some psychological tests they were doing. They did some interviews and like, yeah, you want to be the bad guy, but like people who play the bad guy in a game for a long period of time, they don't feel right about it because you're doing all the things that you know you wouldn't do yourself.
Yeah, but I feel like playing a bad guy though is always easier than playing a good guy.
Well, because the bad guy doesn't care about consequence.
You just do whatever.
You just do whatever you want.
Yeah, you just do whatever you want.
Right. So that's why I'm saying it's a hard game to make, because you have to instill somebody not to care about the character that you're using. Whereas more times than not, when you're role playing, you care about the character that you are. Like, right? When like, people are Batman, they're not running around trying to kill people as Batman. Because if you're a Batman fan, you know Batman doesn't kill people, right?
I love every time I speak, my dog barks, and I can hear him in the background.
That's right. He's doing his job. He's doing his job. He's a farm dog. He's a farm dog, bro. He's doing his job.
Yeah, he's right outside my window, like 10 feet. And he's not doing. He's laying down on the ground.
I'm telling you, there's a signal when you're online.
Yeah, he hears the signal.
He hears the signal, and it makes him bark. I'm telling you, that's what
right now. He's a lazy ass. He's sitting outside the window, and he's just doing his call because he wants to take a nap. He's like, burr, burr, burr. Anyone? No. Oh. And then he goes to sleep. That's what he does. That's what he's doing right now. Yeah.
I listen. I never hear that dog the whole day I'm there. It's only at night when he starts barking.
So that sun
the
goes
whole
down?
day. No, he barks at nothing. He
Yeah.
barks at nothing during the day. At
You
night,
would think he's a mute. He doesn't say a word.
not a word.
At night, doesn't shut the up. He is constantly barking. Yeah.
Dude, you got bobcats, you got
Good boy.
bears,
He's a good boy.
you got wolves, you got whatever you got going on up there.
No
You got all
wolves.
kinds of
We got
stuff.
coyotes and bobcats and
coyotes.
bears and panthers.
The younger cousin of the wolf. I apologize.
Yeah. We have a wolf. We're in trouble.
That'd be cool. Then you'd be like Skyrim. Go outside dressed up. Go out there and go get the wolf.
No,
yeah,
not
bro.
cool. Not cool. Yeah, we have
Put some
gators.
pads
We
on
got
your arm.
gators.
You got to
But
put your
gators-
arm out so he bites your bad arm. You got to stab him in the head.
Yeah,
Just like the video game.
we got gators, but the gators stay to themselves. They're not like walking up to your house. We're pretty far away from where they are.
Well, they got food near them. They don't need a.
Yeah. So, I've been playing. I played. Let me show you.
You're
one
addicted.
Of these.
You're addicted.
Well, no, I'm going to show you this other game I was playing first. This.
So I know which game you're talking about. You're addicted.
Oh yeah, I'm going to show you the game that I'm playing right now. Here it is. Okay, I played this game. This is called Keep Driving. Okay, Keep Driving.
Why is he tailgating a tractor?
These are events that happen during the game. Okay, this is Oregon Trail done in the modern day. Okay, that's what this is.
So you're not supposed to tailgate a tractor.
No, you're driving. You have to get from point A to point B, and there's stops along the way. You have a certain amount of money. You have a certain amount of gas. You got certain things to take with you, right? You could bring a tool bag with you. You can bring a case of beer. That's a guitar.
When are you not bringing a case of
right?
beer?
I didn't bring a case of beer, right? So I broke down 17 times on this trip. Okay. I didn't make it to the thing.
What kind of car are you driving?
A sedan.
Times.
It's a sedan. Okay. You pick up hitchhikers along the way. It's an interesting concept. Each one has their own. So the little thing in the dead center where it says tractor and whatnot, those are hazards. Okay. There's a hazard here, and those things are my durability of my car. And I have a card that I bring down, and I try to knock them out. And if I don't knock them out, I get damaged. Okay, so I got 2 damage. So my car on the right side above my gas gauge is my durability. Okay, then there's other hazards that came in. Okay, so I got to take certain things. Okay.
What the hell am I looking at?
Yeah, and if you choose to go around the tractor, you can step on the gas pedal, but you're going to take 2 damage. Okay.
Why?
Because you choose to go around, right? And
passing a tractor causes 2 damage. What
Yeah,
the hell kind of car are you driving?
So there's like potholes, there's rain, there's just a bunch of different problems that happen. See, here comes another tractor. It says tractor, and then you're slowed down behind a tractor again.
Go to the left lane.
That's what I said. I was like, just pass him, right? So I was playing this. I got over this one really fast. I played about 40 minutes of it, but I was done. I was like, I'll never play this again. It's definitely like Oregon Trail, though. It's called Keep Driving.
But no one dies of dysentery.
Yeah, no one dies of dysentery. You die. You could die maybe of hobo murders you because you pick him up as a hitchhiker. I don't know. I didn't get that far. Okay, but I thought it was interesting. Look at all the damage. Look at all the damage I got taken. I hit the gas pedal by accident, so I took so much damage. So if it's above a green, that's your status of your energy level. If it's above the gas tank, it takes away gas. If it's above the blue circles, it's the durability of the car. Okay. Well, the longer you go, the more stuff that happens, the longer the roads, it takes you longer to get there, shorter, right? Here comes a speed camera, okay, right? So there's like little events that happen. It's an interesting game. I tried it out. It's a demo, okay?
I mean, it looks like it, just saying, it might actually teach people how to drive better.
Maybe. Or road rage.
Or how to handle road rage.
I do not know how much it was, Eclipse.
$10.
Yeah, it wasn't that much, but it's also there's a demo. You can try it out. This was a demo. So that's one of the things I played, Sarge. Okay, let me bring up the other one. The other one after this thing was, and it broke right away. Okay, like it literally got destroyed. I don't even think I think I shut it off before we even get to the next thing. Let me see. No. The next game I played, this thing was a piece of shit, let me tell you. This was a piece of shit right here. This is called Camper Van Simulator. Okay? Camper Van Simulator. They ain't nothing good about this game, Sarge.
I mean, I tried.
Nothing good about this game.
I watched you drive directly into the ocean, though. Like, you didn't touch the brake at all. I watched you drive directly into the river.
Oh, yeah, that I did on purpose. Yeah. But this game is absolute, like, this is grade A garbage. Okay? Slap Ubisoft on this. It's a good game for them. Okay? No, but for real.
That's, by the way, the van you're driving is
the same van.
Quintessential van in Japan.
Yeah, this is the same van I was playing in Storage Wars Hunter.
That is the most sold van in Japan.
Yep. Camper Van Simulator. The NPCs, everything about this game is just bad. Everything. It said, I need to go find the campsite. The map doesn't move. It doesn't tell you where you are on the map. Okay.
The map's just for fun.
It's just a map. You know, like an old-fashioned map. You open up the map and it's a map. It doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. It's just
right. It doesn't show where you are. It just
right. It doesn't say you are here.
It's like real life. You gotta use landmarks.
Yeah, cars wrong side of the road. They're just driving. They don't care. They're coming up on the on-ramp, crossing traffic. Okay.
Well, that must be Texas then.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this one. This is Camper Van Simulator.
I don't understand what that is.
It's terrible. Okay.
Camper, like you're going camping. Like, is the point to go camping?
You could build your own tiny home. Is what you're supposed to do.
I don't know. I think they lost the premise on that one.
Okay. Then we have this gem. Okay. This gem right here. It's only money. Okay.
Yeah, this one freaked me out. I thought I had fallen into a coma and I was dreaming bad dreams.
Oh, I guess we'll check back with this one in a second because it's loading. Okay, let me read that.
It's loading.
Yeah, let me refresh this to see if it works. Okay, here we go.
This one scared me a little bit.
This one is called it's only money. So the description of this game is that I'll tell you it's Grand Theft Auto mixed with Goat Simulator mixed with like Saints Row mixed with like a business simulator. Okay, so the premise of this is that you're a guy who works in a city, and in this city, the mayor decides that anybody who doesn't have a job gets thrown down a hole. Okay, so if you're not
literally,
if you're not productive in the society, they just shove you down a hole and you become homeless. So the object of the game is to come out of from being homeless and a bum. Okay, and make your way back up to have revenge on the mayor,
the ruler of the
right.
world.
So you get to try to start businesses and do different things. Okay, and this is hilarious. Like it's just off the wall, batshit crazy stuff that you can do. Now, obviously, this is not really selling it for you. Let me get to.
It took you almost 5 minutes to drive out of a parking garage that led into a cutscene.
Yeah. So there's weird shit going on in here. Okay. This is the king of the underground world.
That's the king of the sewers. Yeah.
Of the sewers. It's not king. Okay.
Yeah.
And this intrigued me a bit, and I was like, you know what? I might pick this game up down the road, just not now. There's lots of expansions to it, lots of events that go on.
I'm sure there is.
Okay. And you could play 4-player co-op with your friends with this. So
what?
Why not? Right?
What? You got multiplayer?
Yeah, multiplayer co-op, drop in, drop out type of thing. Yeah, King Hobo. Yeah. Okay. And in the demo doesn't really kind of do it justice. You got like 15-minute timer in the demo, and you can do it as many times as you want. But you got to run around and try to collect as many things as possible, or make damage, or take a car and destroy it, or punch people. Like you're just doing everything and anything in the game, okay? But when you watch the trailer says you can start businesses and like expand your businesses and stuff like that. You take over certain things. So interesting, like I said. It's only money. It's batshit crazy. It's just you're going around doing crazy shit. You can steal cars, punch people, pickpocket them. There's mini games.
It almost looks like the game version of Idiocracy is what it looked like to me.
Yeah,
it looked like Idiocracy the game because nothing made sense.
Yeah, I'm not even doing justice to tell you what it is, because like if you just watch the trailer for this, you'll be like, "What the am I watching?" Like. You're on a wanted poster. You got to take wanted posters down. You like bribe people. You steal things from people, right? There's things that you could just pick up at stores and vendors. So it's called It's Only Money. Okay, so that's the other game, and then the last game I played on that day. Okay, and I haven't stopped playing. Okay. Right, there's literally toilet breaks inside the It's Only Money. You go inside a porta potty and take a shit. It's part of the game. Okay, it's part of the game. That's programmed in the game to take a shit. Okay, just that's where It's Only Money.
It made no sense. It made no sense. It says potty time on the screen. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, now the other game I'm playing, okay, is Trading Card Simulator.
This one grabbed you by the short and curlies, bro.
This one got me. I was like, first of all, I'm not even a Pokemon fan. Okay, I played Magic back in the day, by the way. I collect baseball cards and like comic book cards and stuff like that. Never ever played Pokemon in my entire life. Now, I don't play Pokemon in this game, but you just run a comic book shop or you run a gaming store. Okay, and basically what you do is you can open packs of cards, which I know sounds fucking stupid. I hear myself speaking right now, Sarge, okay? But, man, does it do something where you open the packs, you're like, oh, I got a $7,000 card, okay?
Yeah. So I'm glad this is only happening in video game format and not in real life.
Well, right. No, I would never do this right? I used to when I was a kid. I would take my money that I made from my job when I first started working, and I would ride my bike to the baseball card shop, and I would buy Upper Deck cards and make my own sets.
That reminds me, I got to go through the cards I have. I'm not sure if I have a complete set of the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, yeah.
Might be able to sell those now, I think, and get rid of them, now that I think about it. I think I've got series 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I'm not sure if I got a full set of 1. I think I've got a full set of 2, 3, and 4 somewhere. I got to find them.
Eclipse says, if you think this game is stupid, okay, you have not played this game. It's so damn good. It is so good. Okay, it is so good.
I mean, they did a really good job,
and they're updating it. First of all, this is early access. This game's not actually full released.
They did a really good job.
It's not fully released. It's $12 right now. $12.
That's all it is. It's $12.
It's $20, but it's on sale right now. $12. Okay. So basically, you start off with one stand.
Let me go look at Steam. Hang on.
Yeah, you start off with one stand. Okay, and you open decks of cards and you put them in that little stand right there. You can sell individual cards, okay, or you can sell packs of starter decks and whatnot. And you keep expanding your business and you keep expanding the stuff. Okay, I played this thing for 3.5, 4 hours. All right, this is the longest I played the demo. Okay, and I got up to like level 7 or 8. Okay, soon as I was done, it was like 12:30 at night. I got off the street. I said goodnight to everyone. I said, "Hi, everyone. See you guys tomorrow morning."
And
okay.
You bought it.
I bought it and played it for an additional 2 hours. Okay? I bought it and played it for an additional 2 hours. And it was 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, "Just one more day.
Just one more day.
One more day.
One more day."
And I was having a blast. So here, let's look at my store near the end of the stuff. Right here's what the store looked like near the end of the stream. Okay, opening the packs, you find packs of cards that are like, it could be $10, it could be $100, it could be thousands of dollars. The one I got was like $7,000. I don't think did we sell it? I don't think we sold it. All right, but overall, you have a collection of books that you can, or cards you could put in, and they just keep adding more stuff. Now, there's people that have mods that I haven't downloaded yet, because I'll be honest, I don't even know how to fucking get the mods. Okay, but you can put Pokemon cards in the actual game. You can put real life comic book games in the game. So now I'm trying to think of, okay, I want to do a playthrough of this game on my other channel, 30 and Still Gaming. Okay, it'll be uploads, not live stream. Okay, and I want to try to start a store, Sarge, without selling starter decks. I just want to start the shop, level up and open cards to get up to a certain level. I just want to buy a couple of those tables.
Giddy every time you play one of these simulation games.
I love them.
Kinds of giddy.
You know why I love them? Because they're not $70. Okay, they're not $120. There's no microtransactions in the fucking game. It's $12 and it's a fucking blast. It's just a fun, good old time to play a video game. Right?
I'll give it to you.
Right? It's not a $70 game that's
I'm not
broke,
looking down
buggy.
on you. I'm
Look,
just saying
it's broken, buggy. Maybe
you're a sucker for a good
right?
simulation game.
It's broken, buggy, but I didn't pay $130 for 3 days early access and $15 for a customizable skin, and then wait 18 months for it to be fixed.
Can you be the fat guy who runs the comic shop?
I don't know what you look like. You don't have an actual.
They don't do a third person.
No, there's no third person, right?
Okay. But I'm guessing the smelly people come in, right? That's part of the game. It's a comic book store, right? So you have smelly people come in, right?
The smelly people come in. You can see the odor that happens right now, right? In the game that I bought, which I have no footage of, I got the strategy down. Okay, as soon as they come in, I have one of those scent things that shoots at them. Okay,
you hit them with a pine tree.
So you hit them with the pine tree as soon as they come in, right? And then it feeds them this way where they go look at the shelves, and then they go around the shelf the other side, and then I have a second one, and then it sprays them the second time. So when they sit down at the tables,
they're
smell
fresh.
free.
They're minty fresh.
Yes, they're minty fresh.
Wait, you have an auto shooter?
2 auto shooters in my store right now.
Wait, so you can wait, let me understand this. You actually are you physically spraying people with deodorant?
In the beginning you have to physically go around and spray them with fucking
like you're doing
Lysol.
the thing you want to do in real life, but you can't. You want to spray somebody directly, like, dude. Because
yeah. Okay.
It's such a stereotype, but it's so true.
Right.
It's so true.
So while you're playing this game, you have to compete with like the market, right? So you got to figure out what the market is. You want to do 3 times, right? That's a good. This is a good.
I have a lot of cards.
That's a good guy right there. Look, only $21 because we were doing a sale. We were trying to get as many people in the store as possible. Okay. Right, but let me tell you something. This game makes fun of people so hard. I hired an employee in the full game.
You hired somebody? You can hire somebody?
I hired an employee. Let me tell you, worthless piece of shit, just like in real life. Okay, worthless piece of shit. He comes in. He's like,
do they have a skill thing? Do they have a skill list or something?
He stands there in front of the shelf, and he goes, like super fucking slow, and I'm like, go to the register. Mistake.
Why?
Because
you can't do math?
No, because he does math. But let's say you have to make everything whole number.
Everything ends in 0. Everything ends
make
in
sure
0.
everything ends in a round number.
Yeah.
Because if he has to sit there and give change.
Oh God.
Okay. And there's pennies involved or dimes. He has to put one at a time. Okay. Puts one at a fucking time on the counter, and then everyone's just backing up. There's just a line. So you see me come over, I'm like, get the fuck out of the way, and I'm like, beep 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 beep, hey, beep 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 beep. Have a nice day, thank you, sir. And then he goes back to collect the box, and by the time I'm done wiping out the line, he's not even done stocking the shelf yet. And then what really pisses me off, okay?
Why'd you hire him?
Because I wanted to see what he did. He does nothing. Okay. What really pisses me off is, let's say I have a whole stack of blue cards in one area, okay, and then it's short. He'll just take any. He just takes anything and puts it anywhere.
Yep.
Right. And I'm just like, oh my god, my OCD kicks in.
Yeah, he doesn't front product. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, fire him. Done. Right.
Well, you have to keep hiring different people to get a good one. Is that what it is?
No, there's only certain people you can hire at the certain levels. So at level 10, you hire one. At level 14, you can hire another one. At level 20, you can hire one. Hopefully, the guy at 20 is much more competent than the guy at 10. Okay, because the guy at 10 is just a fucking mouth-breathing, like, piece of wood, whatever. Like, he's just fucking dumb as toast. He just sits there. It doesn't do anything. It's very frustrating. Okay?
What?
So
Why are you worrying about a fake job like you're really at a job? What are you doing?
I'm trying to make profit here. It's part of the game. I want to expand my empire, Sarge. I want to expand my empire.
Nobody's become a millionaire from running a comic book store, Mike. Nobody. Nobody in the history of comic stores has become a millionaire running a comic store.
The dude says at level 20 you can hire a junior college student. Yeah, maybe. All right. So the game itself, though, is I think is just a fun, good old time. If you buy it for $12, play it for a fucking couple of hours, right? I'm gonna hit 100 hours of this game easily. I'm gonna put 100 hours into this game easy. Okay, I put 4 hours in a demo. Okay, 4 hours of demo. It wasn't even, and they just keep adding stuff, Sarge. They add more packs and more decks and more comics and more mouse pads and stuff that you can sell. They just keep adding stuff, right? My brain's like, gotta collect it all, right? That's exactly how it is, right? So my strategy now, not in this footage that you're seeing, but in the full game, I have the store I haven't expanded the store at all. I have one little cutout. That's it, where I have my workbench. So I could take the extra cards I have and put them in a random box and sell it for $10. Okay. For the cheaper cards. Okay. But I have a small store space because the bigger you get,
more rent.
The more rent you have. The more rent you have, the more electricity you have. The more electricity you have, there's just more problems, right? So I have the smallest store possible, maxed out possible with the product in there, right? I'm pulling like $2,000 a day right now in the smallest space.
So you have no tables?
I have 5 tables.
You said it was a small spot, though. How can
I
you
have
fit 5 tables?
5 tables. I have everything planned out.
Yeah, everybody's crammed into a bus stop. How do you cram all those 5 tables?
They love it.
In there?
Yeah, they love it.
they love it.
They love it. Yeah, it's a good old time. Oh, and here's another tip: if you're playing this, use the number pad on your keyboard. Don't take the mouse and go to the credit card number and type in the thing.
Like you're like an old school, like you're typing in product.
Just like you're a register guy. Just type it in and move on. Yeah, look, so I'm spraying people down. They all smell like, out of here, you. And then the best part is...
But why do you put the spray back on the shelf? Wait a minute. Wait.
You can sell it for full price.
You pick up a spray and use it, then you put it back on the shelf?
Yep.
What?
Yeah. And then I sell it for full price. Full price.
Don't you put it on a different shelf so you use the same can over and over
again?
Nope.
I just take anyone else on the shelf and I sell it to them and they buy it. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
I don't understand. Wait. Is there card sleeves? Can you sell card sleeves?
Yes. That's the number 1 selling item in the store.
Of course. You gotta have card sleeves.
You got to have card sleeves. Yeah.
Is that the red box I saw, or is that something different?
Those are deck boxes. Those are cases to put your decks in.
To put the decks in. So what's the sleeve thing look like?
The sleeve is just clear sleeves. I don't have any in the store right now.
Oh, that's because this is still the demo.
Well, I think they're in the demo. I just didn't buy any. Yeah, but they're the number 1 seller. And here's the greatest part. So I'll test out stuff, right? I had these little cases. Those shit didn't sell. They were there 27 days to get 1 box out of the store.
Which thing?
In my real game right now. I've done it for like 23 days.
Which item?
They're just a single deck box, right? It's like a $2 deck box to put your deck of cards in.
They don't like it.
I put it on the shelf.
Dice don't move either.
No, dice are selling left and right.
But you got to lower the price.
Blue dice. For some reason, blue dice fly off the shelves. All other dice are like sporadically here and there or wherever, right? I don't know what it is. Blue dice. People love the blue dice, right? And then the boxes, the set of boxes for there's 10 packs of cards in there. Those sell out like this, okay? And now I just got plushies in. Look at me. I'm talking like I own a fucking GameStop, right?
Are we still talking about a game right now?
We are. I just got plushies in, and those things fucking fly off the shelves. That's the best seller that I have.
Plushies, yes. Yeah.
Who's not excited about TCG? Right? That's good stuff. We might have an extra stream after this. I might just jump right in. You're
a sick man.
Seeks therapy ASAP. Yeah, maybe. This is my therapy, Travis, so joke's on you.
Seek therapy.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we played this game last night. Okay. This
was actually kind of interesting, and I figured out why I never realized what the game was, because this game came out during COVID.
This came out in 2021. At least that's what it said on the internet. Okay. This is called Tribes of Midgard. Okay. This is a Valheim. This is a survival-esque game. It's a survival game. It's up to 10 people can be on a server, okay? And you can it's PvE. Okay, and you all work together to, you know, we're learning. Our shit's all over the place last night. We didn't put a house into like hour 3. We got our ass kicked from the bosses like right away. We were naked for half the game because we didn't know how to build anything or do anything or what we needed to do.
Like the first guy who right there next to us, the
He's right
first
next to us.
the voodoo guy who was kicking our ass. I'm like, it's the first guy. How can we not kill? How can we not kill the first guy?
This game actually is fun, Travis. Okay, this you were trying not to laugh when we were dying over and over. Yeah, we just kept dying and dying. This is exactly, I think we're fighting these guys right now. We were learning what to do. We didn't even know we had runes.
Yeah, I didn't even know skill points.
We didn't know we had skill points or blessings. We didn't know any of this.
Well, to be fair,
reading's hard.
It's because normally with today's games, if something happens, you get a point. It goes, stop. You have a point. Put the point on your thing. Like, it didn't do anything. Like,
no, it just says you have a point. Tell me nothing. No, it does. It pops up and says you have a blessing.
Okay, well,
but I don't know what a blessing is.
57 things on the screen, bro. Do you think I'm paying attention to one more word that says, "Hey, you got a point"? Look at this UI. How much stuff is on there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
And I went into options. You can't turn any of them off,
no,
or shrink them.
Very basic. Yeah. See, the bottom right-hand corner chat. I didn't know what that was. I was like, okay, it's a rock with an arrow on it. I was like, I don't know what that does. Right now, I just got 2 bags. I was like, I don't know what that does either.
We don't know what that does.
Right? I didn't know I had to activate them. I didn't know I had to put a blessing on. I didn't know. We died at this boss. You're gonna watch it right now. We died at this boss over and over and over. We were cheesing it. Don't die. Hide away while I run back and try to.
We're doing old school cheese. Yeah.
We were doing anything and everything to try to figure it out. And then we're like, hey, we have blessings. We're like, oh, let me fast forward a little bit when we had blessings and we actually figured out we had blessings. Okay. And then all of a sudden we killed the boss like that. And I was like, oh, that was easy.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. I like this game. I'm willing to go back and play this a couple times because last night before we ended, right, we figured out how to build a boat. Right, and we got a boat, and then we found out there was another island.
I got a boat.
We found out we were on an island, and we were like, holy shit. And then we realized we couldn't go to the next island because we were anywhere close to going over there.
That map is hella big, bro.
Yeah, it's just like Valheim. So if anybody wants to play in the future, we'll be playing this again on stream. So you're more than welcome.
$9, guys. It's on sale still.
Yeah.
$9.
$9 deluxe edition on Xbox at least. Yeah. So it's pretty fun. So Tribes of Midgard.
I figure while I play the game 10 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, we did 4 yesterday.
It's worth $9.
Yeah, it's worth $9. So
it's crossplay. It's crossplay.
It is crossplay as well.
It is crossplay.
Yeah.
Crossplay, 10 people. I don't know. Is any other game screaming fun chat time than this game is? I don't think anything else is for a while.
Right. Eclipse says he has it. He'll join. Yeah, if I want you to. I don't want you to do anything.
No brain. If you, I don't want any fun. Nobody hanging out. Yeah. No socializing at all.
If you want to play,
face in the screen and shut the fuck up. That's it.
Yeah. If you want to come out and play. So that is what we've been playing, and now let's get to the top stories. Let me warn you: the sounds will be loud, so pull your earplugs out. All right, Sarge. So Assassin's Creed. Okay, Assassin's Creed Shadows drops promised early access for its big collector's edition, but it's only going to end. But it's also going to be $50 cheaper than planned. You know, I love this because people go out and I'm going to pre-order. They come in here and they make it a fact.
Before you get on the horse and start riding off into the sunset, hang on, right? $50 cheaper than planned. Yep. So really it was going to be like $180.
No.
So $50 cheaper from $180, so it's $130 now. That's what you're talking about.
Maybe.
You can't tell me that it's going to be $50 cheaper and everyone in their heads thinking, "Oh, it's a $70 game. It's only $20. I'll buy it."
Well, so to answer your question, it's $279 because it comes with the thing. But it says Ubisoft has confirmed that the Assassin's Creed Shadows Collector's Edition, the honkin' big package that comes complete with a 16-inch statue, an art book, wall scroll, and other such good stuff, will not include 3-day early access to the game. Okay, so the 3-day early access period was included as the benefit of the collector's edition, which is also still listed, but it's actually available for pre-order on GameStop. Now, play up 3 days early access to collector's edition, which includes the base game and the season pass and various high-quality collector's items it states. Ubisoft alluded to the elimination of the early access period in September when it announced the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows to February 14th, which is also rumored now it might be getting pushed back to March, which then might get pushed back to May, which then might get pushed back to next November. Who knows? Okay, so it says it's been confirmed by Ubisoft community manager that who wrote on the official Assassin's Creed Discord that no early access to Assassin's Creed anymore, and if instead of releasing on the same time as the standard edition on February 14th or May or March. October.
Let's just stop messing around. Do I have to do I have to write it physically on a piece of card and stick it on the caulkboard right here in front of me? Like, this game is not coming out in February. Do I need to do that now?
Well, look, I'm going to tell you right now, chat. All of those of you that love to come in the chat are like, I'm going to pre-order it. I hope you pre-ordered this. I hope you pre-ordered it and they don't give you your money back. I hope that the game comes out that you pre-ordered and it doesn't come out in February. It doesn't come out in March. It doesn't come out in May. It comes out next October. I hope you pre-order and invest your money and invest your hard-earned money into these games by Ubisoft.
You're so cruel.
Okay, because
they don't know.
It's like the same script over and over and over, and everyone's like, I'm having fun. Yeah. Look, I'll be your investor. Give me $120. I'll invest it for you into non-investable things. Okay. It's so ridiculous, right? They're not giving the 3-day early access anymore. This game won't even be complete, by the way. It's not going to be complete. Okay. Outlaws is not complete.
But I thought it was complete. 30.
Oh my God. It's so ridiculous. But anyway, Assassin's Creed is doing you a favor because people can't do their own favor for them. They're taking away your 3-day early access from you.
Like, why is that even a thing?
That they have to take away your 3-day early access?
Yeah, why is that?
Because the game is not done, Sarge. The game will not be. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth.
I agree with you, but
February 14th is when the game comes out. They're telling you
Tuesday or Friday.
Yeah.
If it's not ready, it's not ready. What the hell is the 3-day difference?
They're telling you right now, it doesn't matter if it comes out February 14th or March 10th or May 25th or October 2nd.
Whatever day.
The game is not going to be complete because this is why they're taking away the 3-day early access. It's not going to be complete 3 days early. It's not going to be complete day one. It's not going to be complete month one.
So they don't want to separate the waves.
They don't want a lawsuit. They don't want a lawsuit.
They don't want to separate the waves of anger between the game doesn't work on Tuesday and the game doesn't work on Friday. So everyone plays the same time. So everyone yells at the same time. Is that I don't understand.
If people buy a 3-day early access, it doesn't work on the 3-day early access. It's an obligation. It's an obligation then to them. Right? They have to give money back.
Buying the game working is an obligation.
No. But what I'm saying is
3-day early access is nothing.
Yeah, but listen. It's $70 you buy it day one, but they can charge you $130 for 3 days. Right? You see what I'm saying? They can charge you almost the whole amount of money.
But at this point, if you're paying $130 for 3 days early, there's nothing I can help you. Nobody can help you.
No, it's definitely not going to be complete. If this doesn't tell you that they're telling you that it's not going to be complete. They're like, yeah, it's not going to be complete 3 days early access, so we're just going to put that aside over here, right? They don't want it to. It's not going to be complete. Take Exhibit A, Pandora. Take Exhibit B, Skull and Bones. Take Exhibit C, X Defiant. Take Exhibit D, Outlaws.
After C is 4.
What's that?
After C, it's 4.
Yeah.
Example 4.
Yeah, C4. Yeah, C4.
Yeah.
You've sunk my battleship. Okay. So that's Assassin's Creed. So they're doing you a favor. Okay. Speaking of doing us a favor, there's these ass clowns that are out here. Okay. The day before Dev, cancels the new game's Kickstarter and immediately announces another project. We just talked about, right? This is the same group of people.
These guys are silky smooth, bro. They're so fluid. They can go from one game to another, and it's all beautiful.
And never complete any of them.
It's going to be awesome.
They should be AAA studio all written all over them. I don't know why we're giving these guys shit.
These guys are definitely in position to go to the next AAA category. They know exactly how to work their company, exactly like a big company.
This game, the day before, was hyped up and then pulled at the last second. Then they went, so sorry. Close the studio. Then they put a brand new game on Kickstarter, 2 weeks ago? They're like, we're funding a new game. And now here we are just 2 weeks later. We're canceling, we're pulling down off the Kickstarter, but then immediately announced the next game that they're working on.
They must have been working on it very hard.
What a clown show is this? What moron is giving these people money? Oh my God, man. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. These are real stories, guys. This is not a fake. This is not this is
not
real.
This is not The Onion. This is not The Onion.
Yeah. Like, what investor is giving these guys money?
It really shows you, and this is the factor, right? Where beforehand it was very difficult to make a game in terms of programming because there wasn't a lot of people who knew code like they do today, right? So back when games were just games and maybe they were making like $100 million a year, the whole industry, it's like no big deal. Only people who knew what they were doing and trying to make video games were making video games. Now that there's so many people in video games and they make so much money in video games. Now remember, guys, we're taking it in the rear, okay? And they're still making Okay, listen. The last stat I got, and I'll find it the next time we do a show, they said that the video game industry is doing more money, okay, than music, movies, and television combined.
Combined.
Yeah. Okay? The whole industry. Not a section of the industry. The whole industry is beating all three. So with that much money in a market, right, you're going to get all kinds of dog shit like this because everybody and their mother wants a piece of that pie. Everybody. And that's why you end up with more stories like this.
Right. Real quick, I'm going to put it back on the screen because it's funny. Because remember 2 weeks ago when we talked about it, you could win a dinner.
To win the dinner.
Yeah. So what? You can't win dinner
Jason,
with them anymore?
You can't win the dinner with that game. Well, I'm sure there's another dinner.
Yeah. And he says the investors are the friends who you're laundering their money through this company. It's not about making any games. It's about mob laundering money.
But seriously, that
probably is what it is.
Let's not put that in the back like we're just making that up. Very plausible.
Oh, absolutely.
Very plausible with the amount of money that it takes to make a video game. Like if you got an investor that gave you like $100 million or a couple of investors give you $100 million and you and your crazies are in the back room and you spend $25 million buying cars, guns, and whatever else, and then make a game and the rest of the money you just put in your pocket and they say, well, it was a $100 million game.
They're screwing over some investors. They're not screwing over the gamers yet. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a given. I'm saying in this market, very, very plausible. That's all I'm saying. A lot of money in this market, man. A lot of money. And apparently, they have more money than the big studios who make movies have money. Because I've never seen studios come out with failure after failure after failure. Well, I won't say failure. Underperforming.
Yeah, underperforming. Under expectations.
Underperforming. Yeah. Under expectations. And yet you guys still have money to keep throwing at the wall. It's amazing how much money they have.
Yeah. So, next story, as we leave from that disaster, Palworld Studios Pocket Pair looking to expand the IP in the future. Okay. So, Pocket Pair recently talked about exploring ideas of expanding the Palworld IP. In the same interview, the developer of Palworld spoke about their version for the game, such as continue support through updates and address the players that can also experts in terms of new projects related to the title. Remember, Palworld is also in early access and it sold 25 million copies. Okay. Less than a year ago, Pocket Pair surprised the gaming world by also bringing monsters collecting base building survival game and players nicknamed Pokemon with guns. After all, the Palworld players can catch monsters just like the game's Freaks franchise. It's possible to do more of the game, such as giving weapons and pals. Okay, anyway. In recent interview with the Gamer Tokyo Game Show, Palworld developer team said they're also looking for ways to expand the title beyond the base game. They talked about the game having many possibilities, and many of them also have been specifically with the possibilities that they would also confirm that very interested the idea of adapting Palworld's universe for anime. Okay. I believe I said that. I was like, just make a cartoon of it and like run with it. They're making toys. They were signing a deal with Sony about making toys for it. The Gamer also notes that the devs have used the line each project needs, hinting that the game's universe is projected to be expanding in two different genres. Okay. Krebsy told me earlier in the week, I don't know if it was yesterday or whatever, he said that Palworld, or today or yesterday, said that Palworld is trying to get to Mac. They're going to mobile, right? They're trying to take this IP and make this thing huge before it's even officially launched, right? So Palworld is trying to, or Pocket Pair is trying to take this with toys, shows. Now, here's what I'll say. Don't put the cart before the horse, right? I understand, and we read the articles about it when they made so much money, they don't know what to do with. They were nervous because they made so much money, they don't know what to do with it.
But you're never supposed to announce that.
Sure. And as soon as they did,
just
about a month later,
right. You never come out and
Nintendo's
say,
like, ring.
We made so much money, I don't even know what to do with it. Look at this giant pile of money. I don't even know what
am I
going to
do
with it.
I just won the lottery.
Right. So Nintendo goes, oh yeah, that game looks kind of like ours.
Yeah.
Calling the dogs.
Hello, this is Nintendo. You are sued, right? That's it. They're done. Okay.
They get a phone call, and it's like one of those Yakuza guys. He goes, "You owe us money." I'm sorry. Who's this?
That's it. It's just a smoke bomb.
You stole Pokemon. You owe us money. Like, is this a prank call? Like that's like the phone call you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You owe money. Like, I don't understand. We owed nothing on Friday.
Yep.
Someone made a post on Saturday about we don't have so much money, we don't know what to do. And on Monday morning, it was a phone call. You owe us money.
I actually have a really good Japanese accent, Worlds, but I was told not to do it because it's very offensive.
Racist. Yeah, it's racist.
Yes, I was told it was very offensive. So you're gonna have to take my shitty Japanese accent.
According to today's rules, right? This is the best now. According to today's rules, which are not written anywhere, you have to actually be in the same social category in order to make fun of that category.
That's right.
So if you have a mixed family,
so I can only make fun of white people.
Right. So if you
sound like this, because this is what white people sound like.
Yeah. If you have a mixed family, then the spread of you making fun of people is wider than if you're only from one location.
That's right.
Yeah. Those are the rules.
Technically, I can make fun of Irish, German, Scottish, English.
Yeah.
I think that's Italians.
According to today's standard, white people, you're only allowed to make fun of white people, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I make fun of stupid people? They don't know.
As long as they're white, yes.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know they're white? Or
they don't know they're stupid, so they don't even know.
Well, that's how it usually works. Most people who are stupid don't know they're stupid.
That's right.
Because otherwise you'd be upset that you're stupid, right?
That's right.
That's how that usually works.
So, Pocket Pair, Palworld. What do you think, Sarge? Do you think this they're putting the cart before the horse by talking about these animated shows and stuffed animals and TV shows and
don't you look at it and see how they're scrambling? They're looking for it's almost like they're falling off a cliff.
It's like a hurricane and Hurricane Nintendo's coming and they're trying to prepare for it.
Yeah, it's like falling off a cliff and they're looking for anything to grab onto to save themselves at this point. Like I think Palworld has a great game. I think that they saw the whole, right? And we've mentioned this in the past. If you have an IP, right, and you think because the IP is God's gift,
no competition,
gift,
right? No
competition.
competition.
You have no competition. You think you can slack, right? You think you can slack because people are going to buy it, right?
Yep.
So those last two Pokemon games that came out by Nintendo, they're Pokemon. They were good, but they were horrible in the line of Pokemon games that were made, right? So somebody saw that they weren't pulling their weight and decided to do a little. Let's put our toe in the water here. Let's see if we can get these people to buy a game that's like that. And the answer is yes, because they want a good game, good mechanics, a Pokemon game. Yeah. And then immediately, you owe us money.
Well, they got to slow them down, Sarge, because they're working on the next game and it's nothing like that game. So they have to slow them down so they can catch up with the next game.
All's fair in love and war. It's business. Let's not pretend that Palworld is the first guy who copied somebody. Okay, and I don't mean by copyright. I mean I'm talking about making similar games. We all know that when a game comes out, now, of course, the people who are watching us right now might not understand this because things move a lot slower now for development, whereas they weren't that slow development back in the day. Like back in the day, it was like 2 to 3 years you can pump out a game, right? These massive games now that take like 5 years plus if you're making a good AAA game. So I'm speaking about back then, right? So when a good game came out, right? And it's sold like gangbusters. You can look that phrase up. It's a white phrase, right? Right?
It's a gangbusters.
Yeah, gangbusters, right? So when those games came out and they succeeded, the rest of the industry was like, well, look how much they sold. Can we make a game like that? Yeah. And a game like that would come out like in a year, 2 years, because they could just piggyback on the same engine and make something else up, right? No worries. People have been doing it forever. Today, right? When they copy a game today, it's already past the hot pad of people wanting to play it. Like, how many BR games came out when BRs were starting to come down? Like, we don't care about BR anymore because culture moves quick and games take long to develop. And then all of a sudden there was like 17 games that had a BR. Like, we're like, what's going on? Like, why does everybody got a BR? Like, even games that didn't have a BR, like, shove it in there, gotta be a BR. Like, and they still copy. But the issue now is it takes longer to pump the stuff out. So we're hit by this weird trend of like the zombie trend was going on for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
When Black Ops did the zombies the first time, it was like, woo! Everyone was crazy about zombies. And then for 10 years, they're still pumping
Everyone
out
had
zombie.
a zombie mode.
Everybody's pumping out zombie mode. Like, same thing. Same thing.
For some reason, though, we're still waiting for a horde mode for any game.
No, it was hero shooters for a while, right?
No. What I'm saying is we're always been asking for like, hey, they should add a horde mode, and no one's added a horde mode. you know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't say it's 100% horde, but I think Gears did a good one, right?
No, I know, but like Destiny, we asked them to add a horde mode. It took them forever to add something into that game, and then other games just don't add a horde mode. It's like when it's a fun game. Basically, Space Marines 2 is fun because it's like a horde mode. Right? You're just constantly fighting a wave of war. The same people that created it, Saber Interactive, I believe, right? Or not Saber Interactive. Did they make it? World War Z?
Well, right? Helldivers 2 is horde mode.
Yeah.
The whole game is just horde mode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's very popular because that's what people want. They just want to keep killing the same thing over and over. Yeah. But the horde mode inside of Fortnite Save the World Edition, people are like, I don't like that. Right? They
because it wasn't snappy and fun. It was like monotonous. These guys came lumbering forward, and it wasn't that. There's like State of Decay and Left 4 Dead. Like, it was done so simply, especially Left 4 Dead, where you're walking around and you got that little musical cue that you knew the shit was about to go down, and then you had to remember where you were and how to do a defensive position if you're playing on a hardcore mode in order to survive. Like, that made it fun and exciting because you didn't know where they were going to be coming from, right?
Right.
Like, my personal favorite horde mode, and I don't think it was intentional, like horde mode that's labeled as horde mode, was the end mission in Reach, right? Because the end mission in Reach was, well, we left the planet. We're not coming back. Whoever's still here is still here. The mission actually just says, last as long as you can. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought that was one of the greatest endings to a game ever because the whole spoilers, the whole story of this awesome team that keeps losing members until you finally solve the puzzle at the end and then realize nobody's coming for you.
Right.
And how long can you live in that last mission? I thought that was amazing.
That was awesome. Yeah, it was
amazing. Like, that to me is horde mode, right? There's no coming back. Like, this is however long you can last.
Speaking of stuff that's never coming back, okay, the next story we're going to talk about, Sarge, is physical copies. Okay, I think this is interesting. I know why. I think you know why too. But disc editions make up 82% of all PlayStation 5 console sales. In other news, Sarge, 80% of all games sold nowadays are digital, right? But obviously, the people that are PlayStation fans that bought the disc.
Well, PlayStation fans are hardcore guys.
Correct.
And they have an old library, and they want to be able to play their old games.
And they want to play their old games.
That's why the disc version sells more.
That's right.
No worries there.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is PlayStation players are the older crowd. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Xbox is the opposite. They have a bunch of digital versions and don't sell as much disc versions, which means to me that the younger guys are playing Xbox, the older guys are playing the PlayStation. I'm not saying it's fact.
No,
I'm just saying
but we can take it based off of.
I could do a comparison. I could do a comparison.
But I also believe, like, you have an X, I have an X. I still put discs in my actual Xbox, right? But I'll be honest, with this new system, it's mostly all digital, right? But I can take my old games and put them into my Xbox Series X. And that's just it, though. If I had a PlayStation, I would also want a disc version of it because I don't want a digital version of the stuff. I want where I could take my old games and put it in. So I thought this was a funny stat, though, because they're like, oh, it makes up 82% of all the PlayStations out there. But 80% of all people that are buying games it's all digital now, right? So, I mean, where you would be with the physical disc as well. You would buy the one with the disc drive.
What they are, okay, but you do understand that the reason why the switch from the switch from physical copy to digital copy happened so quickly is because game companies weren't sending out physical copies as much, right? They'd send out a certain amount and that amount would be bought up, but the rest would be digital. So like if I went to a store, like a box store back in the day when they first started doing this stuff and I wanted to buy a game, they're like, well, we don't have it. We're out right now.
Right.
But I can buy it digitally, right? Your spontaneity of wanting to buy that game immediately because your friends got it or someone called you about it, text you about it, and you're like, oh, let's go buy the game. And it's not there, but I can get it digitally. And that's how they slowly got you to start buying digital. So, of course, it went from 70-30 to 30-70 in 1 year.
Yeah, 18 to 19,
right?
It shifted.
In 1 year.
In 1 year, yeah. And I think it really pushed it, especially during COVID, because when we were in COVID, no one could leave, no one could go anyplace. So that went 100%. Either you were ordering stuff from Amazon for the physical copy, waiting for it to get there, or you're just buying digital. You just get the digital copy because you couldn't go anywhere.
Listen,
even though GameStop was an essential store and it was still open.
Yeah, but it stands to reason PlayStation players would get a disc version because think of the library that you have, right? Think of the library that you have if you're a PlayStation gamer.
Well, right. I mean, here's another thing that they're doing. Okay, a lot of games like Alan Wake didn't have a physical copy when it came out, and now that down the road they've made a physical copy after the fact.
But is it?
Right?
But is it a physical copy, or is it?
Yeah, no, it's a physical copy.
Is it a key on a disc?
No, it's a physical copy. Like you can buy the physical copy afterwards. But that's another thing they're doing, right? They're going back and making a physical copy after the fact when the majority is like, oh, there was no physical copy. I'm gonna buy digital.
Yeah, but think of the marketing, bro. Think of the geniuses up in the Suitville who are going, okay, we sold them a digital version, and then 8 years later or 10 years later for the anniversary edition, we sell them a hard copy, which is more money because it's a hard copy. Like think of the marketing behind it. It's almost genius. How you make digital standard, and then for the hardcore people that love the game, you buy a hard copy of it. Right? It's evil. But smart.
Look, Sony knows their clientele, okay? And this is exactly why they disconnected the disc drive from the PlayStation 5 Pro, right? And if you still want the PlayStation 5 with the disc drive, they're like, not only are we going to charge $200 more for the PlayStation 5 Pro, but then we're going to charge an additional, $70, $80 for the disc drive to add on top of that. So now you're at $780, and they know the people. This tells you right here, 80% of the people want to still have a disc drive.
But those people are the ones also who have their own income. They're okay buying it because it's not a nuisance because they have income to buy it. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not making fun of Sony. I'm not making fun of the people that like Sony. What I'm saying is Sony knows their clientele.
Their clientele.
They know this is why they made the Portal. This is why they made the VR headset $550. They know that this person will give them $500 before a new person gives them $500, right? They can pull another $500 out of a person that's in the ecosystem that loves PlayStation, then trying to get a new consumer to give them $500 to come into the ecosystem, right? And and again, this is not a PlayStation thing. This is a console thing, okay? Less people are buying consoles. Okay, and if you're losing people from buying consoles, you have to find a different way to make money with the people that are inside your place, right? So if you're looking to sell 5 million units and you can't get 5 million units thing, well, you got to make that money up somewhere, right? If that's with the VR headset, if that's with the Portal, or if that's with the detached disc drive, right? They got to make that money up somewhere. So from that we go to the next one, and chat real fast. As Krebsy just did, if you have a question and you would like to put a question in, we can mark those in the chat, and then we'll answer them near the end of the show for the question. If you would like your question faster, we'll put up on the screen. You can put a super chat out there. But yeah, so put a Q in front of you, and then we'll mark it and we'll answer it later. I try to keep your questions to what we're actually talking about in the topics and stuff like here. Don't ask me like what color underwear.
Well, and to eliminate this, I'm wearing pants. This question comes out every week. I'm wearing pants.
Stuff like that. Just if you have a question, we'll answer your question near the end of the show. But if you want your question answered, you can always do the super chat. So Xbox, at least the title says, Sarge, September 2024 sales charts. Xbox Series X is finally outselling the Series S. Okay.
Well, that's because it's out longer. People have it's finally in stock, and all the people that couldn't wait, or you're buying it for your kids, they got the S's. Right? It stands to reason. You didn't have the supply before. You have the supply now. Yeah. So everybody that was going to buy an S has it. I don't like the way they phrase these statements. You only have so many people that were going to buy a new console, so they bought it already.
It's only for I think this month. It says it took 4 years, but the Xbox Series X is finally outselling the S in the United States. By a slim margin, according to the month's report from Circana. Okay, so which tracks U.S. games spending in dollars, reports that Xbox Series X accounted for 58% of all total Xbox units sold in September and 51% of all Xbox units sold. To date. So in the month of September, it outsold, but now it's just surpassed, right? So it's 51% to 49%.
Saturation has happened already.
Yeah. So it says it's also especially notable given that the last check, the Series S was well ahead during the big leak of Xbox court documents last year. Now, we learned that the April of 2022, 74.8% of Xbox Series owners globally owned a S. Okay, and that's what you're talking about. Back then, there was no X's because it was super hard to find the X's and the PlayStation 5s and whatnot.
And by the way, COVID.
Right.
Trapped in your house.
We talked about this. I said the digital versions will be found before the disc versions because they want you trapped in the ecosystem, right? So
what is that called? Encapsulated market? And it's a nicer way of saying entrapment, but it's not entrapment. I think I can't remember the phrase. It's all right. Keep going. It's all right. Yeah. Keep going.
So it says April, 74.8% of Xbox owners globally have owned the S and 25.1% owned the X at the time. Okay, Matt Piscatella says that he clarified to IGN that the split in 2023 was closer to 50-50, but also the Series S still had the edge at the time. So in the U.S., at least it looks like the X has pulled ahead. Now, we knew that if 75% of the 20, I think it was like 20 million at the time, 3/4 basically was S's over the X's, and they had let's just say they had 20 million. Okay, let's say they had 20 million sales, 15 million, okay, were S's, while 5 million were X's. Well, now it's 50-50. So by that margin, that means if they have 30 million units, now it's a 15-15 split, right? Basically, right?
Maybe.
So yeah, well, it has to go up. I mean, if there's already 20 out there, and then now it's the same, it's about 30 million, 32 million systems out there if they're at 51%. So it says the few things happening as the opposed to earlier in the cycle when the S was leading. Of course, we have started to supply with the Series S more widely available during 2020 and 2022, with the X only getting fulfilled stock a few years after launch due to the looks at everything at 2020 and 2022. And it also has a console buyers in general shifting to slightly older audience with a higher average household incoming. And we also saw earlier in this generation, which also suggested perhaps a price sensitivity may be a bit lower now with the previously. Okay, so this pushes against a lot of things that people talk about, that if it's a fanboy on one side or the other, this pushes against that no one's buying an X because now there's more people are buying X's than S's, right? This also pushes that people, if they're not buying games, they're buying a service. So more people are buying the X, and then are they getting the Ultimate? We do know the Ultimate edition is the highest tier. It's got the most people using it. They make, like, at the time when we knew, it's like 450 million people. Or they make $450 million a month, and majority of those is like 3-1 we're giving on Ultimate compared to non-Ultimate, right? So they were making more money with the Ultimate. So now this is more people in the ecosystem, and they don't share these numbers, right? They don't ever share these numbers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they do share the numbers where it is. Now, obviously, I don't think we ever see the Xbox consoles get to 60 million. They might stop around like 38, 40 million or stuff like that.
But don't forget, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth, right? You hear Microsoft talking about how they're selling Xboxes. They want to sell Xboxes. And the other side of their mouth, they're saying, we don't care
need
if you buy an Xbox.
Exactly right.
Right? You can play on your phone. You can play on an iPad.
This is why I said I don't think they get past like 40 million.
You play on whatever. Like, they're talking out of both sides. So they don't care, right? They're just trying to say, hey, by the way, people are now buying the X now. Now you could weigh that into many different factors. So you could weigh it in like this. You could say somebody's sitting around going, well, I keep hearing about this Game Pass thing. And now I'm looking at the Game Pass selections and what you get for Game Pass. And so if I think about getting an Xbox, if I'm thinking about it, and I'm going to get Game Pass, don't I want like the better system that has the disc just in case? Like that's how people kind of process, right? You're not just saying, throw me an Xbox or throw me something else. Like if you're thinking about buying the actual box, right? I'm thinking that you're saying, well, Xbox Game Pass looks really good. It's got a good value to it. Do I just want to limp in and get the Xbox digital, or don't I want like the unit that has, you know what I'm saying? Like people are weighing it out, right? Whereas before it was like, give me a box, right? And the asses are flying off the shelf.
Right. Well, this is why, and they actually made an Xbox Series X now without the disk drive, right? The new ones that just came out have more storage and no disk drive now, right? So people like that. They don't want to go fetch their discs or whatnot. So they want that digital stuff.
Convenience
in their ecosystem. Yeah, it's a convenience factor. Yeah.
No, just for shits and giggles though, my Xbox is really close to where the discs are. Right? It's like right.
Oh yeah, you just pick. Yeah.
So when I get off from my Jabba the Hutt palace chair and I go over to the thing and open up my box, take the disc out, put it in there when I want to play an older game that's not digital. Like I feel good that I moved so the concave shape in my fucking bed has chance to come back to normal. Like I don't understand. How convenient do you want it where opening a disc box is too much trouble for you?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because right before the show started, my son's like, Dad, you got to help me. He's like, I'm trying to download a game. I have no more room. Right. I was like, you have a hard drive.
You got to make decisions.
I go, back in my day, you played a game, right? You put a game in the machine, you played it. When you were done playing the game, you ejected it from the machine and you put it back away. I said, so if you're playing like 5 games, I was like, and you're trying to add a 6th one, I was like, if you're not playing one of those games, take it out of your machine. I was like, put it in the digital format, put it away until you're done, and then you play other games.
I was
like, yeah, you got to make. I mean, that's just what it is. That's the downside of the S. Not enough storage, right? So more people playing more games in more places, though. That's what they say, right? The next thing I want to talk about, Sarge. The next thing I want to talk about. And don't forget, Sarge, you can mark the with the stars in the chat there. I got it this time. All right. So the next,
I zoned out. I was reading.
It's okay. The next one is Helldivers 2 port requires both partners to agree on something, reveals Arrowhead. So let's read this a little bit. Okay. Helldivers 2 is one of the best games of the year. It's been a huge success for Arrowhead. It's also been success of Sony and PlayStation and PC, understandably. There's also calls for the game to be land on Xbox consoles while nothing is guaranteed. Arrowhead has explained that it needed for Helldivers 2 to release on Xbox. Arrowhead was explained what it is needed for Helldivers 2 to be released on Xbox Series X and S. He says it's an exciting time for Helldivers 2 community as the Liberty Day release day is imminent. Leaks have revealed that new armor and also belief of the arrival of the Luminant could happen. In addition to the future, leaks have revealed that more exciting details about the clans. And leaks have also shared that Destiny-like edition that also to join the Helldivers 2 one day. Now, while the above is existing, I may also hope that Helldivers 2 will come to Xbox. It's not happening in the foreseeable future, but Arrowhead has stated that it is not impossible. Okay. So on the Helldivers Discord, there was a call for HD2 to come to Xbox on an almost daily basis, which also people of Microsoft console want to be able to experience Arrowhead's multiplayer epic. Okay. There's also people on PC and PlayStation who want to be able to play with their friends who only own an Xbox. Now, Arrowhead community manager Twinbeard has also just responded to using and asking for it's not impossible for Helldivers 2 to come to Xbox. The community manager provided the following response. Who's to say it couldn't? Okay. It's not up to us. But Sony and Phil to duke it out. But I can't say the word, Sarge. Hypothetically, speaking, in both partners, my brain just shut off there. I think we could also benefit from a financial brand standpoint. It could. If Sony believes it won't, though, and it won't. Okay, so My question to you, Sarge, is that I get that Sony wants to make, have exclusives for their thing, but they already threw that exclusive out the door when they put Helldivers Day and Date, because it's a live service game, on PC. Okay. Now, people are saying, hey, bring Helldivers over to Xbox because just more people can play your game. You're going to make money. Like right now, Call of Duty comes out. Okay. Xbox is making money off of that. PlayStation's making money off that. Now, I get that PlayStation's not making as much money as Xbox, right? But Xbox is taking their cut, okay? And they're bringing it back to Papa Phil over here, right? So why do you think that Sony won't put their game? I mean, MLB The Show is over here, right? MLB The Show is over on Xbox, and it makes money for Sony. They see the money that comes in. It was the best-selling MLB The Show game, okay, ever, when they brought it over to Game Pass a couple years ago, okay? Or I should say Xbox and Game Pass, okay? So do you think that Sony just is so stubborn that they're just never, ever going to release Helldivers on the PC? Because here's the thing. The fanboys love to say that Sony's much better than Xbox. Sony is just better in every single way. And if Sony is better in every single way, why are they so scared of putting a third-party game like this? It's already third-party on PC on over to console.
I wonder sometimes about their attachment to certain titles. I still believe that they didn't think that Helldivers was going to be such a big deal. They thought it was just going to be like a run-of-the-mill game that people would play, that they could have on their system. And you can tell by the way they acted once the game blew up that they thought they missed the boat. So they tried to install things after the fact.
Right.
And that's what brought the popularity down, is because all of a sudden they were trying to take advantage of the fact that the game was popular. Whereas by the way that they talked about it, they weren't really interested. They just thought of it as another game, right?
Right.
I think that if I was Sony, I think that because of the Call of Duty fiasco, I think that I would hold cards to my chest when it came to games that we have on our platform that are doing well, regardless of whether or not when they did well.
Right.
And so they are reluctant to allow Microsoft to have the title. You know what I mean? Like if Helldivers didn't do so well, they would want to put it on a different platform to make as much money as possible.
But they know well. Yeah.
But it did do well.
Right.
And they pushed people away. So they're afraid now, or I would be afraid, that if I gave an opportunity for somebody else to have the game, that because of the bad taste in people's mouths, no pun intended, that you would go to the gate, you would go to the side where they didn't try to screw you, as opposed to where they tried to screw you. Because now you have a choice, right? Because now you have a choice.
See, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
No, that was it.
I was going to say, I agree with their single-player stance of games, right? I've said in the past that I'm okay with them releasing their single-player games, and then down the road, if it's a year or 2 years, release it. I do think there'll be day and date down the road, just because they can't help. They want to make the best possible money as possible, the fastest. But these live service games, to me, doesn't make sense, because look, Helldivers is a lot more fun with friends. Okay. And yeah. So Sony right now, before they came in and kicked the door open, like kids were throwing a party, they're like, "Yeah, we're having fun with Helldivers, baby." They came in like, "Everyone, show us your ID," and they're like, "Oh shit, the cops are here!" And everyone ran out the door. Right.
Basically ruined the fun for no reason.
Ruined 180 countries. They couldn't. They were upset. Okay. Now people are coming back. They're like, get people back in, right? Tell them we have alcohol again. Come on, bring that party back, right? So now people are coming back in for the party at Helldivers, okay? And it's never going to get to that point where it was before, okay? You have this core audience. Why not open it up? It's the saturation point is never going to be like, because even down the road, if it is at a saturation point and they're like, okay, fine, we're going to let it on Xbox now. At that point, I don't think you're going to have this like huge upkeep or bringing of people in, because they're like, oh yeah, I want to play Helldivers 2 years after it came out. And you know what I mean? Like, perfect example. Sea of Thieves came out on Xbox and tens of millions of people played it, right? Now, 4 years later, 5 years later, it came over to PlayStation. And they got like 1 million, 2 million, I think it's like 4 million people played it, whatever. Okay. It's an uptick, but it's already 5 years past due, right? It's like you open up your fridge, you're like, is this still good? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you don't know if you want to like kind of play it because other things have come out. Other things are, and this is a game that needs for people to play with other people, right? And if you're waiting 2 years to bring it to another console, you're not going to revive it. Yeah, now people on Xbox will play it, but people on PlayStation have moved on to something else now.
Something else. Well,
yeah.
I always think that when they interfere like they did, the game will still survive for a time, but the plateau you've eroded. Right? Yeah. If it was going to be like 250,000 people playing it for a year, you brought it down to 50,000 people playing it for a year. You know what I mean? Like, people are still playing it, but you inadvertently put your foot in your mouth.
Right? You're like stopping it. Yeah.
Instead of just the suits cannot allow things to happen organically. They have to be in control, right? And the minute you saw how they acted. The minute that they cared about the game, where beforehand they didn't care, they tried to control it immediately. Like immediately.
Right.
It was so blatant what they did. And everyone was just like this. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, why are you doing this?
Do you not want people to have fun with your game? It's like somebody called on the phone like, quick, they like it. Get them to sign up for something. Like, can we just let them play the game? No.
Fun.
Get them to sign up for something. This country? No, all countries. Everybody. Everybody.
Yeah. It's so weird.
It's almost, I dare I say that this is going to age me out. It was almost like doing one of those CD companies back in the day. They want you to sign up for the 9 CDs plus 1 for a penny. And then, right? All of a sudden you signed up and you have to buy 6 more at full price. Like that's how I felt when they started messing around with Helldivers.
Z says they have stepped on the water hose. Yeah, you're out there. You're like, look at this hose, man. It's so good. Look at how strong the water's coming out. It's so much fun. Kids are playing in the water, and they just come back and pinch on it, and you're like, what happened to the water? Get off my lawn. It's like
get off my lawn. Like
why?
I think that's what we're gonna call. We got to call Old Man Petrie. Sony's Old Man Petrie. As soon as anyone's having fun, let's get off my lawn.
Now look, here's the next story. Okay, the next story is PlayStation tried to lock a major third-party game into exclusivity deal, but the dev said no. Okay,
good.
But still, it looks like Xbox fans will continue to having to endure exclusivity deals like Silent Hill 2 going forward. Should Xbox start doing similar things? I say no. I don't think they should, because that would go against what Xbox is trying to do. See, if you are a PlayStation fan, you're like, Xbox is making it exclusive, but they're not, because they're not just putting it on their console. They're opening it up to PC and Xbox, where if PlayStation gets a hold of something, it's only on PlayStation. Nobody else can have it. They kink the hose, right? And
I don't want you to lose your train of thought. Stay there, right? All I want to know is, why is holding games back on PlayStation and not giving it to Xbox different than giving the games to PC? PC is Microsoft. I don't understand how you don't give games to Xbox to use, but you're okay releasing them on PC when Microsoft is PC.
Well, they're on PCs, yeah.
So what? I don't understand what it is. So you think that giving it to PC is something completely different than allowing it to be on Xbox? How is it different?
Well, look, I think it's okay if it's their first-party games. By all means, go ahead. Look, this third-party exclusive might work for Sony, but it's not working for the devs. If it was, Final Fantasy wouldn't be coming over to Xbox. Square Enix wouldn't be coming over to put it in more places. Ubisoft wouldn't be putting their games on Steam now, okay, day and date, because they're not making as much money off these consoles anymore, right? So they're trying to do this again, and look, it's okay when Sony does it, but when Xbox tried to do it, they get shit on, okay? They did it with Tomb Raider back in the day, and everyone was like, what are you doing, Xbox? You can't do this with Tomb Raider. They do this with games all the time. They're like, oh yeah, Sony's got better games than Xbox. It's like, bro, they're doing the same thing, right? Like, gamers just want a game, right? If you're one of these pony boys or Xboxes, okay, you guys like to battle over your plastic boxes. You're probably playing swords with your dicks in the park, okay? Like, do you, okay? But this has to stop taking third-party games and trying to exclusively get them, okay? Hogwarts Legacy, they try to get exclusive, and they said, no, we don't want you to get exclusive. We can make a mission for you, and you can have that for a year or whatever. And they said, okay, cool, right? They tried to make Call of Duty, Okay, and Bobby Kotick said, "No, we don't want that. Okay, we're not doing that." Right? They want these exclusives to happen for PlayStation because they are the leaders of the console, right? And they want that exclusive to get people to come over.
Proven.
Right, proven. But that's old school mentality, man. Like these live service games, like a Helldivers, these live service games day and date on one platform, but not the other because we don't want to give them that much more money. It's like, okay, but yet you're taking Call of Duty right now, right? Like they're putting Call of Duty on your platform. They put Minecraft on your platform. They're okay doing it, right? They're making money off of these things.
But that's the proper way of doing it, because if you allow the games to be played anywhere and PlayStation doesn't allow to be played anywhere, then the perception is PlayStation ends up being the bad guy because they're limiting where the games come out as. Now, I'm not saying initially, but as the years pass, you say to yourself every time, well, if I buy an Xbox, I can play anywhere, any game, anytime, right? But if I buy a PlayStation, I have to wait to see if it comes out on PlayStation, or otherwise I can't play it, right? That's eventually what you'll hear yourself say, because they don't allow it to go both ways.
Roadkill says that's Sony's job to get exclusives to their console. It's called business. Yeah, and know what also is called business? Making as much money as possible, right? And to make much money as possible, you would take a game. Now, third party, I get, because they're trying to bring people over. But a game like Helldivers, why wouldn't you put that on Xbox right away, right? You're getting people to come into PlayStation. You're getting people to get it on PC. You're getting people to get it on Xbox. You're getting a piece of the pie, right? That's called business, okay? With the third-party single-player games, I totally get that they're trying to get people to come over, but they also take it away from everybody else. And they're praised for it, which is just weird to me, okay? But when the other company tries to do it, screw them. They're bad, right? So it's okay that, they didn't buy this company. They just paid them a lot of money to try to get it on their platform. Microsoft bought Activision for $70 billion, and they're still putting it out on the other thing. They could keep it for themselves and go, nope, Call of Duty is just on Xbox. And know how many people would leave PlayStation to go play it? But they don't. That would be so stupid. So Xbox is like, no, you stay where you are. We'll give you the game, and we'll take 70%, right? We'll give the 30% or whatever it is, right? We'll give them 50%. I will take 30% of everything, then 100% of nothing, okay? That's stupid business. You would want to take some sort of percentage of everything that's being sold, and that's good business.
It's because of the market that we're in now. Let's not forget, though, because of the digital service now, because of the fact that we live in a time where we have this, a console exclusive doesn't have the same type of power that it once did, right? Because originally, and I'm saying originally meaning like back when the console war was still a factor, right? You have maybe 300 plus million people who had a console, and so 160 million people are on PlayStation, and then 100 million are on Xbox, and then some people are in between, and some people got Nintendo in there. I'm sure a lot, and I'll be honest, more people probably have Nintendo. Well, I'm just making a point. And because of that, exclusives were very important, because you wanted someone to be only on your side because you were taking a piece of the pie away from the other competition. That makes complete sense. But we're living in a digital world now where I can play the fucking game on anything. Let's repeat. I can play my game on anything. I can play it on my phone. I can play it on a pad. I can play it on a refrigerator. I can pay it. That's where we are. Because of that, it doesn't matter that you're trying to cling on to it all you want. If all I could pull away from you is 120 million people, that's a lot of people in the market. But now we're talking about 3 billion people, right?
Right.
So do I care about 160 million people, or do I care about the 3 billion I can make a percentage off of?
Right.
I don't understand. When is the rest of you going to come back to reality and sit down with us and discuss this is the business now?
Yeah.
Exclusivity doesn't mean what you think it means anymore. Yes, you can still hold the flag for your first party, bought and paid for. It's on my system. God of War, boom, PlayStation.
Spider-Man,
like
Horizon,
Halo, boom,
Last of Us.
on Xbox.
Yeah.
Like the games that were born and bred on your system, yes. Hold the flag. Be Be patriotic about your color, no problem. But we're not talking about new games coming out now that you're going to make a new first-party title and you think you're going to covet it and hang on to it for 130 million people instead of the 3 billion. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Roadkill says, I don't think they can keep it to themselves. I think the FTC said they have to put it on shit everywhere. Listen, they were never going to take Call of Duty. Let me repeat this to you. They were never going to take Call of Duty after spending $70 billion and just put it on the smallest platform of consoles. That is just fucking retarded, okay? They were always taking the game and putting it back where it was. Even so, they're trying to get into more places. This is why they signed a 10-year contract with multiple studios before they even had the game, to show them we don't want to make it just on Xbox. We want to put it everywhere because
I want my $70
they
billion
want their
back.
$70 billion back faster. If you guys think the FTC is the one that stopped them from putting it just on Xbox, I'm sorry, you're not using your brains. Okay, they want the amount of money back as fast as possible. Okay, even let's just say it made $1 billion off of PlayStation and Xbox and PC. That's $3 billion. How many of that goes into 70, and how many years is it going to take to get that back if it was just off Call of Duty? Now think about that. Are they going to get that money back if it was only 23 million consoles that could play it? No. Okay? They were never going to put it on just Xbox. You guys like to think that because you want to think, well, Microsoft was trying to buy it for themselves. No, they're trying to make the most money as possible. That is what they're doing.
You're looking at, they want a 5 or 7 year return. They don't want.
I would say 10. I would say 10.
10 is realistic.
That's what Diablo, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Candy Crush.
10 is realistic, but you're talking about just game sales in your head.
Sure, they want
Think
7.
about all the
seven.
microtransactions.
Yeah, I would say
all
about
the microtransactions and all these games.
Yeah.
Come on, that's a lot of microtransactions in a lot of these games, man.
Yeah, $70 billion is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
In other news, did you know Elon Musk makes $114 a second?
Yeah, I think he deserves that much.
$114 a second. While he's spending $114, he's making more money back on that $114. Just a random thought.
I could say this. I could say that Elon Musk, his worth and what he does for the industry that he's in is probably paid what he is worth, as opposed to a Bobby Kotick who sits in a room yelling at guys to keep making games with microtransactions in them. As far as what he's worth.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody gets paid what they're worth, right? And if you're not getting paid what you're worth, you should probably change jobs. You have to know your worth. You got to know your worth.
Brainchild says, to be fair, the idiots at Forbes and Kotaku were saying that Xbox was taking away COD from PlayStation. It was never real. No, it was never real. It was never real.
It was just
people wanted to make it real so they could have a talking point, right? We even said the deal wasn't even for Call of Duty. It was never about Call of Duty. It was about mobile.
But do you see how much they were screaming up and down about it, though?
Yeah,
like the crazy screaming court cases about you're going to take COD away from me. It almost seemed fake, like that much pressure, screaming at the top of your lungs that you think you're going to take a video game away from somebody. How much is that game worth to you that you think you're going to get it taken away from, and your business is going to close? Like you think your company's going to go out of business because one title doesn't come to your system? That's what you want me to believe, that your margins are so razor thin that if Call of Duty wasn't on PlayStation, you guys are just fucking closing up shop? Right. you want me to believe that? You guys, you must think I have a mental disability. That's what's in the press, and you want me to believe that?
Look, there was even rumors. Again, I'll say the rumors that Starfield was supposed to be exclusive to PlayStation at one point. Okay. And then Microsoft bought Bethesda and said no. And yes, they made it exclusive for Xbox, but here's the big one, and PC, right? They made it exclusive for their small little player base of 23 million people and 30 million Game Pass users, but they also opened it up to 1.5 billion people that could potentially buy the game on PC. Okay? That's the difference. This is why when a bully pushes you and you're like, well, I don't know what to do, you have to decide, okay, well, we have to buy it, okay? And then we'll put it out to more places, right? And I think this is why I think Sony fans, they think they have a win. They're like, yeah, but Starfield's going to come to PlayStation.
But you don't like Starfield.
Okay. If it does come to PlayStation, that would be smart for Microsoft because they make more money. Like, I don't understand how you guys grasp business. I don't, right?
Because they think that the game loyalty supersedes the fact that they're actually trying to sell a product.
Sure.
To you,
but that's old school.
Yes, but to some people, a game to them is like something personal, like an experience that they shared with their friends, or something that gave them, I don't know, it made them feel special, or it made them feel a certain way.
I spent my $500, and and only I get to play it with this.
So you associate the good time with the brand. I get that, right? But if you're thinking about it that way, and that's the only way business runs in your head, you're dreaming. It's about moving units.
That's
right?
exactly it.
They gotta make money, right? If I can go from 130 million people to 700 million people, if I move it to a different thing, I'm doing that.
That's right.
I want to make money. The whole purpose of business,
unless you're happy with the group that you have,
money. Right? It's not to gather up a bunch of guys who like blue or green flags and try to make them happy. That's not what this is.
They don't care. Yeah,
you are happy on your own. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with them, right? They're just making games. If you happen to be happy about it, good. It just means you'll buy more plushies and stuff if I sell it. But it means nothing to them.
Yeah,
nothing.
They don't care about us. You're going to buy it or not buy it, and they're going to move on, and they're going to keep making billions of dollars.
Everything you guys see on how they market to you is just another step on how to get you to buy their product, right? It's got nothing to do with the actual game itself. Look at the marketing for a lot of these games. If you buy it early, you get this. If you get it early, you get this, this, and this. We'll give you 400 credits to buy this, this, and this. It's some kind of subdued value proposition in a video game. They don't talk about if the game is good or not. They're just talking about value perception for the game.
Now,
if
3 days
you
early
cared
access.
about the actual guy who wants to carry the flag, you'd show him the fucking video game, right? You'd show him how fun it is and what he gets to do in it. That's not how they market. Look at the marketing. Do you think they care about you? No. They care about the sales.
Yeah.
You pick whatever flag you want.
This is why I like playing games and just playing them and going, yeah, you know what? This is fun. I would pass, or it's worth your time or worth your money or whatever. All right. The next thing I want to talk about, Sarge, is Baldur's Gate 3 publisher Chief calls Ubisoft broken strategy. If gamers need to get used to not owning games, developers must get used to not having jobs. Okay.
I like the simile. I like
and that. This is the make a game, sell a game scenario, right? Make a game, sell a game. Okay. So Prince of Persia, The Lost Throne was a critical hit, but didn't sell very well. Michael Dowse thinks the entirely Ubisoft's fault. Okay. Layering director, publisher Michael Dowse never one to shy about speaking his mind, has spoken his mind about Ubisoft's decision to disband the Prince of Persia Lost Crown development team, saying that the result is of a broken strategy and that prioritize subscriptions over sales. Okay, Prince of Persia Lost Crown is quite good. PC gamer Molly Taylor felt that it was a drag down by the very slow start, calling it a slow burn to fault. In a overall positive review, it holds an inevitable 86, which is a fantastic score, by the way. Can we just say that? Games in the 80s is a good fucking score for a game. Okay?
Yes.
It is. It's a good score. We joke and say it's trash because, look, they disband the group that made an 86 game. Microsoft disband a group that made another 80-something level game with Hi-Fi Rush, right? Like, what is happening here? Okay? It's because they're spending too much and not making enough, right? Or it was under expectations where they made a profit but they didn't make enough profit, right?
They're bloated.
Yeah. Right. It says despite
now from months and last year they're bloated.
Yeah, it says despite that Ubisoft recently confirmed a development team has been scattered to 4 winds to work on other projects that also will benefit their experience. Now, Dowse feels that at least partially the outcome of Ubisoft's focus on subscriptions over the conventional game sales. The whole feeling comfortable with not owning your games espoused by Ubisoft's direct or subscription, earlier this year, and then decision to stop releasing games on Steam, which is far and away the biggest digital storefront on PC gaming. Now think about that, right? They stopped putting it on Steam. Okay, this is just remove the title. Okay, remove the name. Now we're talking about Ubisoft and Steam instead of PlayStation and Xbox, right? Ubisoft was only putting it on these certain platforms and took it away from the largest portion of people that could personally buy your game. Remove that aspect from it, okay? Which is idiotic. You took all of those people away that could purchase your game because of whatever reason, okay? So now the biggest digital storefront on the PC gaming, right? So the last notable game on the platform was arguably Far Cry 6 in 2021. Okay, The Crew, Mirage, and Avatar came out in 2023 and didn't perform. So you can assume subscriptions were the lull. Okay, make the problem, sell a solution. They didn't want to put it on Steam because they wanted to bring you in on the Ubisoft Plus. They didn't want to sell you that $70 game. They didn't want to sell you that $110 game. They didn't want to sell you that $130 game. They wanted to make sure they highlighted it in the blue and the red, and they wanted to make sure you got it in that $18 price range to bring it in. Make the problem, it's not over here anymore. Make the problem where it's really expensive, but here's the catch. There's $18. Let's bring it over here, okay? So it says the release on Steam not only would it have been the marketing success, but there also would likely be a sequel because the team are so strong. It's such a broken strategy. The hardest thing to make 85 plus games is also much, much easier to release one if it couldn't be done as it was. Now, let's take that same thing I just talked about. If Xbox refused to release their games over on PC and just did an Xbox, every single game would fail. Every single game would fail. But Game Pass works because they do release it on other platforms, because you can purchase it or play it through Game Pass. They're not closing the ecosystem down. They're putting it in more places, and that's why Game Pass works for Microsoft and their strategy works for them, where Ubisoft's just trying to get you in on their strategy with the service, and it backfired in their faces, and this is why now they're going back to Steam, right? So, look, the proof's in the pudding, and I'm glad that he said something about this, because, look, real quick, do you have anything to say about that? Because these next two stories are combined, basically. Okay. The next one is NCSoft lays off staff following a broader internal reorganization. NCSoft is the people that make Throne and Liberty. Okay. Throne and Liberty is a free-to-play MMO, okay, right now on all platforms. Okay. Cross-play. Okay. The company is reportedly working on a Horizon MMO with Sony. Okay. There you go. So Sony paid them money to make the Horizon MMO. Okay. NCSoft has laid off an unknown number of staff after the company conducted a broader internal reorganization. Okay, the pair claim that NCSoft has a risk of falling into a chronic, difficult company, and is also seriously damaging creativity and challenging the spirit of the NCSoft originally had. The company signed a strategic global business partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment last year, following news that Sony and NCSoft had struck a deal to create a Horizon MMORPG. Okay. Well, there you go. They had a deal where they put it on Amazon, but now it seems like they're like, hey, you know what? It's not working out. Let's reorganize. Let's focus on the new Horizon MMO. Okay, so partnering with NCSoft advanced our strategies to expand beyond console and broaden PlayStation's reach to a wider audience. Then, Sony Entertainment boss Jim Ryan said at the time, like NCSoft shares a similar vision in creating high-quality, impactful entertainment experiences for players everywhere and together, and we're excited to collaborate and push boundaries of gaming further. Okay, so obviously, NCSoft was like, wait a minute, we can make a game for you and it'll be on PlayStation and PC to get more eyes on the stuff, right? Like, do you see what I'm talking about here? It's the same thing, but this game is not allowed to do it, and this game is, and this game, it's just very weird, right? And then with that studio reorganizing, then we have Netflix. Okay, Netflix shuts down their first AAA studio, Team Blue Gaming Studio, and Gaming Shakeup. Now, they have over 80 games in development right now. Okay, mobile games.
Listen, the fact that you're saying that makes my head hurt. Think of how many people have to be working on 80 games.
Yeah, but they're mobile games, so they're going to be smaller games, not AAA games. Okay,
I don't care. You still have to have a decent sized studio for each game.
Sure. Right, but Netflix had a AAA studio game, and in less than 2 years, they closed it down. Right, they're like, it's just too hard. Okay. Well, in other news, Netflix just surpassed Disney where they can actually purchase two Disney companies. Okay, that's how much Netflix is succeeding in the subscription model. Okay, they're actually more profitable.
Getting rid of those double passwords sure did work.
They're over 300 million now, right? They were at a saturation point of 200 million, and now they're at 300 million.
That means a third of the people were sharing passwords.
Now, I just want to put this out there. Okay, remember what I said. I said Game Pass, and we proved it on our thing. We showed Netflix's stats, and we showed Game Pass's stats the first 7 years, and they're almost identical to what it was, okay? And everyone says Game Pass is the Netflix of gaming, okay? Well, they're 11 years behind, but on the same trajectory. They're on the exact same path as Netflix was. Now, it'll probably change a little bit because, well, COVID bumped up a little things there, so that might off it a little bit. But I'm not saying that Game Pass will have 300 million subscribers, but they're going to hit a point.
They're on pace.
Right, Netflix is on 300 million. Game Pass wants to get 100 million, okay? Within the same amount of time, I think it was like 10 years. So within the next 4 years, 5 years, they wanted to hit that 100 million mark. We'll see what happens. Call of Duty comes out. We'll see what the numbers are when people came over to Game Pass and what more people come over to Game Pass. But they're on the same trajectory they were the first 7 years of Netflix's streaming service. And they're on trajectory for the 11-year mark, which would make them over, I think, 120 million for Game Pass. But we'll see what happens in the future. Okay. But yeah. Studios closing down left and right, making games, making good games, making 86s, 89s, right? Yet it doesn't matter if they make a good game. It doesn't matter if they make a bad game. They're just closing studios left and right because as an outsider, we don't know what these games cost. We don't know if it costs $50 million and they've only brought in.
We know they're bloated though.
Yeah,
we know that.
Right? And maybe they only made $40 million back.
Because if every time you release a game, and this is almost every studio now, if you release a game and then you say it underperformed and you fire the studio or people get fired immediately afterwards, you're bloated. Your game is bloated.
Yeah.
That's just it. Like I'm not counting the contract people. I'm counting your standard developers. If every time you come out with a game, you got to fire people, then rehire later on down the road, you're bloated. Something's not going right. Something's wrong.
He says, I still would like to know what Netflix studio was making before being closed. I wonder if it was like a PvP game or something. I think they were making a AAA game that was microtransaction filled. I do. That's what I believe they were making.
Here's what I think. And I don't know any facts about this at all. I'm just using this by feeling, right? Because I'm watching the market, right? And I'm watching the market a while now. I think that the lack of senior programmers in all these AAA companies is why the quality has gone down. They've talked about it in multiple stories in bits and pieces. But if you're keeping score, like if you were following baseball teams and you're looking at your team and you see how you lost like your top hitters and they're not there anymore, if you're paying attention to the gaming sphere, you know that the top hitters in a lot of the AAA games of our youth and back in the day, they're not there anymore. So the senior staff in all the top studios that you grew up with are not there anymore. So anybody you think is there is not. It's a name only. What I think that the senior programmers who had enough of all that was going on in the industry took a step back, and I bet you that they're working for Amazon and Netflix. I bet you, because they have the money to pay what they're worth. Right. And they've seen their resume and they know that they can do the job, right? That's where I think it is. So now when you tell me there's 80 games being worked on in Netflix and probably around half as many in Amazon, and you see what Amazon games are doing, I bet you that the senior staff is involved from all the games of the past are involved because it's probably less stress. They know what to do. They can work out their teams efficiently and they won't be bloated.
Altern says the senior staff are now 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
Well, they got to keep the pay down.
I'm not making this up.
They got to keep the pay down.
Follow the stories of how many senior staff have left. And it's always piecemeal. Senior editor, senior writer, senior this. Like, they just drop off. It's small stories. You got to keep following. If you were in fantasy football, you follow, right? You got to be in fantasy gaming. You got to be. I'm picking Ubisoft and I'm picking EA, and you're following you're looking at the credits. Who's still on the team, right? If all the guys that made all the badass games that are not there anymore, start looking around because they're not there anymore.
Yeah, you're thinking about the studios of the old, thinking they're the same. I talked about Rockstar, or I'm sorry, Rocksteady, even Rockstar, BioWare. It's not the same people that made those games back in the day. Right?
They're not there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they're not there. And once again, sorry about the pudding reference, but the proof is in the pudding. Look at all the games that came out. Look at all the issues that they have. It's the same issues,
Right.
over and over and over again. How many times? How many times? Like, I saw one of the questions go by. I'm going to hit it right now. It says, "Do you think that it doesn't matter the name of the game? This game coming out is going to have bugs?" And yes, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Whatever game you type,
this one.
Whatever game
do you think Sony
type,
does not want to bring Helldivers 2 because they don't see as many consoles justify the dev expense? Is that what you're talking about? No. Which one?
No. Somebody mentioned about one game coming out on a console. Is it going to be broke, buggy, and unfinished? The answer is yes.
Oh.
The answer is yes. If you're asking the question, is the next game from such and such going to come out broke, buggy? And the answer is yes, because that's the standard.
Oh, is Travis with the Indiana Jones? Let me see. Travis says, "Does Indiana Jones launch in a good condition, or is it broke, buggy, and unplayable day one?"
Yes.
Well, wait a minute. Which day one are you talking about? Broke, buggy, and unfinished day one on Xbox, or broke, buggy, and unfinished day one on PlayStation 3 months later?
Or a year later.
Or both. No, it's coming out 3 months later for PlayStation. Yeah.
Oh, the punishment's only 3 months?
Yeah. Well, it's a big IP. It's Disney.
You think I care about Disney?
No. What I'm saying is it's a big IP. Disney wants. I bet you Disney forced them and said, "Yeah, you can get the exclusive on Xbox, but you got to put that shit out in more places, right? Because we want the biggest.
Oh, Disney wants to get paid. Yeah,
100%. 100%. If it wasn't a Disney property, it would be on Xbox, and PC. But because Disney wants it everywhere, they're like, you better put it on PlayStation because.
If it was just Disney, Disney would have mailed a disc to every house in America.
Yeah.
Right? With a 3-hour trial. And if you played more than 3 hours, it would just charge you for the game. That's how Disney would do it.
Don't give them any
3-hour
ideas,
trial
Don't
with
give
a
them any
disc in a
ideas.
box, and you'd play it. And if you went over 3 hours, then it would charge you. That's what Disney would do.
All right. The last story I want to talk about, Sarge. I know you hate Disney. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you hate Disney.
Reasons.
So I want you to
I got reasons.
Talk about this a little bit, right? Disney has debuted a new Lightning Lane Premium Pass this month, but some guests may have sticker shock. Okay, now just to let you know how much this is, Sarge. Okay,
I heard your day stream.
It's $400
per person
per day for visit to both Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. Okay. Now in Orlando at Disney World. Okay, you need a valid admission ticket with the Park Hopper benefit. Starting next year, the pricing will be vary by the date and demand within the $300 to $400 range, and the company said guests will be able to see the pricing in the Disneyland app up to 2 days before the park visit. So you're taking your family, okay? You pay $180 for a ticket. Let's say it's a non-busy day. It's a Monday. You're paying $150, so you're paying $600 just to get your family in the park of a family of 4. That's before food. That's before anything. And now to get on the ride, Sarge, you got to pay an additional $400 per head. Okay, so it's additional $1,600.
You only have to pay the additional $400 per head if you want the Lightning Pass.
That's right. To get on all the rides.
To get on first. Like, how much do you think you're waiting in line that you think the Lightning Pass? Listen.
The way the Lightning Pass works. Hold on.
Go ahead.
The way the Lightning Pass works. The regular Lightning Pass is. You can only establish 3, okay? And once you use one, you have to use all 3 before you can book your next 3. And it's a time slot. So if I book it in the morning, as soon as I walk through the door, I can get on one right away, but then the next one might be at noon, and the next one might be at 4. With this price, there is no time. You get one ride per thing for every single one. You can just walk into the Lightning Pass, and you'll get on within 5 to 7 minutes.
All this is for making people more elitist inside of a park. That's all this is. The ones who have the money and don't care, to them, the $400 is a convenience fee. To them, they don't care. If you're a normal person, you were never looking at the Lightning Pass anyway, because nobody in their right mind is paying money to skip other people in line and think that your line is going to be shorter when everybody was getting Fast Pass. It's the same shit, right? My thing is, at $400 per person, if I'm walking around Disney World or Disneyland, that means I'm getting my own personal fluffer, okay? At $400 a person, you better bet your ass that I'm going to have an IV and a little curtain around it, right? And I'm getting a fluffer to each of the rides. That's the only way I would pay an additional $400 per person.
Well, the funny part is,
And I get to pick the character. I get to pick the character.
Okay. It used to be where you paid for a tour. You could pay a tour. It's like $1,000. Okay. And you could take the whole family. They would take you on a tour. You get food. You get to go in the lines. And now they're charging individuals the same price.
It's such. I'm not trying to stand on a soapbox, but it's so elitist to charge that much money just to skip the line, to make reservations for a ride, right? Before everybody was the same. But if Disney can squeeze a few more pennies out of you, I'm going to make you better than your neighbor. That's basically what it is.
But what's happening is they're losing the majority of the fans that were the people that were giving them money for annual passes and whatnot. There's less and less people renewing their passes. There's less and less people going to the park. So the elitists can go there, but they're going to be cutting stuff. I made a joke the other day. It's going to be like Wally World, okay, where the parks would be closed, and it's just gonna be your family because they can't afford anything. There's not gonna be anything open. Okay, obviously that park was actually closed, but that's what it's gonna be because they can't afford the people that are working at the park. There's 77,000 employees working at just Disney World. Okay, 77,000 employees just at Disney World within all the parks over here.
Oh, listen, I get it, but the point being is they're so desperate for money that to put the tax on the rich, they don't care. Right. Because once again, if your income isn't at that level, it doesn't bother you. If you're at the echelon where going to Disney World for 10 grand for the week or 12 grand for the week is no big deal for you, you don't care about $400. $400 for you is like $4.
Sure.
Right?
Well,
that's what that is.
Elon Musk makes $114 a second. Right? He's just right.
That's all it is. It just means a different clientele, and they're just trying to go for it. Listen, they always tell you that if you're going to make a product, right, and I know you want to try to sell to the common man, but they always tell you make a product for the rich. Always make a product for the rich first, because if the rich like it, then everybody else sees the rich buy it, and then they're going to want the version of it, right? Because the rich people don't care. They'll spend the money if it's a good product.
Do you understand that as an annual pass holder, I think the lowest, I'm not sure what the price is. I think it starts at like 1,000 or 1,200. It might have went up to 1,400 for a year, 1,400. People are paying that in one fucking day, okay? For one fucking day. Yeah, there's blackout dates and stuff, and I have to wait in regular lines.
It's just madness, though, man.
It's insanity, right? So much so that we're not renewing our tickets this year, right? So we're moving on to the next park, which is Universal. When it opens up the Epic Adventure for Mario and whatnot, right? So, all right, chat. It's time for Q&A. If you submitted questions, you can still submit questions. Okay, for the next couple minutes, we're going to be answering your questions. Okay, so if you have a question and you would like to us to answer it, you can put it down below. Here's the intro to this. All right, Sarge. Let's go to the Q&A here. First question, okay. Krebsy says, are you concerned that more people aren't talking about the COD charging $20 for better audio and World of Warcraft selling a $90 mount? we didn't have the story for the $20 audio thing, but
I apologize. I watch a lot of videos for the week.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
know you posted it.
Audio one.
But I didn't bring it in because there's just too many things. And the $90 mount I had, but then I deleted it at the last second. But
$20 for better.
You know where I stand on microtransactions, Krebsy. So to answer your question, they can go fuck themselves. Okay, $20 for better fucking audio, meaning you're giving me shitty audio and then you're charging me for better audio in the price point. Now, Call of Duty is on Game Pass, right? But I'm not paying $20 for fucking better audio. I buy headphones to have better audio. Now you're giving me digital audio within the thing by a switch? This is like BMW charging me to use my heated seats. Right? This is the same fucking thing. They can go fuck themselves with that. The $90 mount for the fucking thing, I don't care what anniversary it is, 25th, 30th, 50th, 100th. That's what I think about your $90 mount, right? So that's where I stand on the stuff.
Yeah, I want to talk about this, but I know about the $90 mount, and you already know how I feel about microtransactions. See, I'll give it to you very simply. If the revenue from a game is dwarfed by the transactions of the items inside that game, then you didn't sell me a video game. You sold me a store.
Right.
You sold me a store. So eventually, I believe there's going to be a law. There's going to be when congressmen and people figure out what the gaming companies they're doing about children and whatnot. Like, I'm not trying to start any kind of political thing. I'm just saying that if you're making more money by the stuff sold inside the game instead of the game, you basically sold somebody a store. You didn't sell them a video game, right? A microtransaction, I understand every once in a while here or there, but if your revenue is 20 times or 30 times the amount of the game that you actually sold, you didn't sell me a video game. It's not a video game. You sold me a store. That's what you sold me. You sold me a store of entertainment. That's what it is. All right. Now, better audio. I'm glad I didn't read the article because I would turn red in the face and fly off the handle. That to me basically there's got to be a law on current books in business that has something to do with that. Like, you can't sell me a substandard product and then charge me for the fix. Like, there's got to be a law on the books.
Make a problem, sell a solution. Yep.
It has to be.
Next question. Travis says, my big digital game was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because the double pack with 2 games has the same price as the single physical edition. Do we see this being what they do as time goes on, push digital as better value? Of course, because they make more profit margins. Here, a little game taught me this. No, actually, I learned this a long time ago, but I'm playing TCG. The small amount of profit margins of what you sell a pack of cards for, okay, over something else to just get the market, right? You lower your margins to bring more people in to buy the stuff, and there's a loss leader to bring other people into so they can potentially buy other things. That's exactly what this all is, okay? So, yes, they want you to buy digital. They want you to buy digital because they don't have to print the discs or make the box or make the instruction manual. They don't have to ship. There's no gas. There's no shelf space. There's nothing. 1,000%. They want to make it seem like it's a better value for you. Hence why Ubisoft and Xbox and all of them say, hey, do you want to buy $70 for this or $130 for this digital? Look at all the seasonal pass stuff you're going to get in the next year. Or pay us $18 a month, and it's just convenience, right? That's the same thing. What do you think, Sarge?
The argument that we always had about Game Pass, and I don't actually say like it's the greatest thing ever, but initially the way that the business model is structured, right? It's good for consumers in the beginning, right? The value you're getting for playing games on a subscription service is geared towards value for the customer. However, once the market completely swaps over and there's no longer any physical and it's all digital, and you have to have the service in order to do anything.
Right. You stop paying for that service, you lose everything.
It then becomes an encapsulated market in which that you can never leave, right? That's where you are. I can't have a choice and go buy a game. I have to pick a service, whether it be Netflix or Amazon or PlayStation I have to buy a service. I just can't go out and wing it and buy a video game.
Right.
And at that point, I now am victim to anything they want to do to that game, because the rationale will be, well, it doesn't matter that the game came out broken. You have so many other games to play.
Right.
Why are you going to complain about this one game out of the 100 we're allowing you to play? Right? That will be the issue. Right now, not the issue. Value's all on our side because everyone keeps getting a broken game. Why do I want to play a broken game? I don't want to buy the broken game. Fuck that broken game. And so then you say, I'll just get the service.
Right.
The game comes out broken.
Because if it's broke, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
That's the issue.
The same thing, to take another example of this, is like Fallout 76 or Elder Scrolls Online, where they limit the game to have where you get overcome really fast, right? Or you can pay for extra backpack space, unlimited. Well, you pay for 1 month to have that unlimited backpack space.
Save up value.
And then you think, you're like, oh, it's just 1 month. But then when you stop paying for it, you start to lose something, you're like, oh, fuck, I'm overweight again. You're
small inconveniences.
Slowly cook the frog in the pot is what they're doing, right? And that's what they do, right? Next question comes from Alternatives. Do you believe that the Series S never existed? Would Series X and PlayStation 5 sales be almost at the same margin? I believe. I'll let you go first, Sarge.
wait.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Altern. Are we talking about normal market conditions, no COVID, or the way it happened, the way it played out? Which way do you want me to answer this? Because there's two answers here. Do you want it to be with COVID or normal markets? Normal market. The way it played out. Okay. So by the sales numbers that we saw, right, you were looking at people who are out of work, who are bored and want entertainment, and you offer them two systems, and you pick the cheaper of the systems because it's the cheaper of the systems because we were all on limited incomes, right? So entertainment over finance, right? Definitely, PlayStation would have still outsold Xbox 100%. Now remember, there wasn't that many S's, or there wasn't that many X's. There was a whole shit ton of S's.
Yep.
So if that would have been the case, you would have seen only X's, and they would have made sure those X's were out there, right? It wouldn't have been hurry up and get the S's out. It would have just been, well, we got to get the X's and fucking made, right? So the way it played out would have been PlayStation would have sold more because Xbox wouldn't have had that many. They would have tried to get as many out as they could, but they could not, right? It would have been 3-1 PlayStation of Xboxes sold, right? It wouldn't be the same margin. It would be even more, in terms of looking at both sides, it would have been even more PlayStations and less Xboxes. The way it played out. The way
I look at it, the way it played out, not saying the X, because he's asking the Series X and the PlayStation 5. I don't think the Series X would have existed at all if they played it the right way, right? The X in my head would have been, it just would have been the Series S, and the Series S would have been a lower grade than the PlayStation 5. But that's okay. Lower grade consoles can sell well if they do something well. The Switch sold more than all of these systems, right? And it does 30 frames per second, but it's portable, right? It does its own thing. Xbox with the Series S would have marketed more just Game Pass towards that. It's the Game Pass box. It's the Game Pass box, right? You're not going for that higher end tier stuff. And then now they would have pushed out the Xbox Series X as the mid-gen upgrade type of stuff is the way I think they should have played it out. But because they put them all out there at the exact same time, it muddied the waters because you didn't know what they were doing. You didn't know if they were marketing Game Pass or they're marketing high-end games for the 60 frames per second. If they put the S out, we would have known from the start that the games that are coming out, we wouldn't have known anything different. Yes, the PlayStation would have been better as more powerful, but the Xbox wouldn't be fighting itself and also the PlayStation. It would have just been the S is this, and that's what it is.
But you have to modify your answer a little bit because you have to pretend like the S wasn't there at all. Like you have to say that the S.
Oh, he's saying never existed. But I think the S
never existed.
But I think the S is what the X was going to be. I don't think the X was going to be out. I think they put the X out early, right? So the S was. What you're
saying. So you're calling the S the X.
Yes, the S would have been the X, but it would have been a lower grade of what the X is. You see what I'm saying?
I got you. I still think as it played out, they would have probably pushed harder.
PlayStation still would be in the lead.
Oh, for sure. 3-1.
Sure. Yeah.
3-1 easy.
Yeah, but at least you would know that Xbox wasn't like the parity thing and it's 60 frames here but 30 frames here and
the constant holdbacks.
Yeah.
The constant holdbacks.
And I'm not saying that all the problems are because of the S, but
they are.
Look at PCs. There's so many graphic cards, and that's why they have to pick a minimum spec ratio when a game comes out, right? It's the exact same thing when they're optimizing a game for these things, right? When they're optimizing a game for PC, if they're a AAA game studio, they have to optimize for the PlayStation, the Xbox Series S, the Nintendo, and then 15 fucking graphic cards, okay, for PC. Okay, and they're like, we can't get it.
Optimization nightmare.
Correct, right? So there's no difference than what they're doing with the Xbox Series X and S, but it's a pain in the ass for a lot of these companies to do it. They're like, just make it for one console, like an X or the PlayStation 5, not 15 SKUs type of stuff.
But let's not. I don't want to go off 12 on a tangent here, but let's not forget when everybody's sitting in the room together and they're discussing what their hardware specs are going to be, right? They don't want to be so far out of whack with what the other company's doing, even though we're in competition, because we want to be able to sell it on both systems to make more money.
Right.
We don't want it to be where I can only run it on my system only, then I've only got the 130 million people to sell to. I want it to be at least compatible with our hardware that I can actually sell it or get a piece of the pie. If it goes on the other system, even if it's a first party, we get paid.
Right.
It would behoove them to make it where it only works on my system and that's it. That would make no sense. Right. But like you said, Xbox is fighting themselves.
Yeah, they're fighting themselves and they're fighting the other people. Right. Next one, Altern again says, do you think Sony does not want to bring Helldivers 2 to Xbox because they don't see there are many consoles to justify the dev expense for the port? I think I answered your question earlier. I think they should bring it. I think they should bring it to as many consoles as possible because of the way the game is. If it was a single player game, I would wholeheartedly agree that there's not enough people out there to play. But if it's a live service game like Helldivers is, and you can get an additional 2 million people to get on your system from all these other systems out here for Xbox, I think that's a win, right? That's 2 million more people that make your overall people still playing, more engagement, more war bonds, more people spending money. So I think it has to do with the game, the type of game it is. And I don't think it has to do with the expense of the port. I think it has more to do that. I think it's more honor. Like Kuda Papa said, I think it was earlier. Like they're not stubborn. They just don't want to do it because of their honor. Like they want to keep it tried and true to their PlayStation. They don't want to give it to the other console.
If I'm Sony, I don't even know why I would. Honestly, I don't even know why I would put it on Xbox. Your market numbers are lower. I got a much bigger market in PC. So PC and PlayStation seems to be the win for me. Why would I do it on PlayStation? I don't get it. Maybe it's it's bowing out, saving grace, trying to make a compromise on some level, right? To show a little fealty to something else, to say we're going to do this for something else later on down the road. But as far as a business thing's concerned, we have it on PlayStation and then have it on PC. That market number is pretty big,
right?
Like to put it on Xbox just for the 30 million people or the 20 million people, and only maybe 13% or 14% of those people actually play that kind of game, right? So what's my number? Like, why do I do it? So it looks to me, because remember, just because I have 30 million people who have an Xbox doesn't mean 30 million people play it.
Correct.
Case in point on Final Fantasy, right? There's 160 million people who have a PlayStation, right? Only 3 million people bought
3.1 million people bought it. Yeah,
bought Final Fantasy. So how do you feel about Helldivers? Do you think the market's so much bigger than 3 or 4 million?
Helldivers 1 was a very small group of people.
In comparison to numbers, though, like if 3 million people on Xbox bought Final Fantasy, that's 10%. But
Sure.
3 million of 160 is a much smaller percentage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I look at it as some type of compromise, and we're allowing this for something named down. Like, I'm going to trade a player with you, but we get a pick down the road. That's
right.
That's what it seems like to me. Because on paper, I don't know why they would do it. Why would you put Helldivers? Give me the reason why you put Helldivers on Xbox.
Just because it's a live service game and they make more money because it's hot now.
For that's a small piece of the pie, though, man.
I would have to know, and I'm not going to pretend I do, what it would take to port it over, right? Like if I would think it's not this huge ordeal for them to. I mean, it's already ported for a console. There's rumors there that there was a version for Xbox. You know what I mean? At one point, so who knows? Right?
It only takes one backdoor deal to get your game not to play on one system for.
Well, they own the studio. Sony owns the studio for
no, I know,
IP,
but it only takes one door deal.
Yeah,
hold it back for a year, hold it back for whatever.
Crazy says, do you think Disney needs a new park, and what theme would you want for this park? Well, they were talking about a villains park, but instead, because they shit themselves, they shrunk it down to a section of a park now, because they're making a new villain section. Instead of building a whole park that was supposed to be villains, they're now taking just a small section and building, I think it's like 12 acres or 8 acres that they're building for the villain section.
Where?
So,
which park?
In Magic Kingdom.
Where in Magic Kingdom?
They're draining where the ferry boat goes around, over between the Haunted Mansion and
no more riverboat.
Yeah, and no more Tom Sawyer Island.
No more Tom Sawyer Island.
Nope, it's gonna be gone. Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so they're draining that. That's where Cars is going. There's a new Cars land going there, and then behind
is this
that,
speculation?
No, this
is
what's
for
happening.
Real?
No, this is for real. And then behind that, by the Haunted Mansion, there's going to be the Villains Land back there. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I love Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't do anything.
I know, but it's called a park for a reason.
Yeah.
It's a park.
Well,
go hang out in the trees, hanging out, just hanging out.
Yeah, they'll add 5 benches on the other side of the property. They'll be like, "There you go." that's it. No, you're thinking of the wrong one. Are you thinking of the Swiss Family Robinson when you go up in the?
No.
Okay, you're thinking of that one. Okay,
that they can get rid of.
Well,
hanging
no, that's
out in
actually
a tree.
That's a line ride. That people just walk
That's
up
just
and down.
you walking around.
Walk up. No, single file line up a tree, single file down the tree. There is no walking around.
That you can get rid of.
Yeah.
You can get rid of the tree and put something over there.
Yeah. So they're getting rid of that. I don't think you have an answer for this.
You could just easily put that tree in Tom Sawyer Island. It'd be the same shit.
So what if they had to build another park though, Sarge? What kind of park would you like to see?
You mean if I didn't hate Disney at all?
If you didn't hate Disney, yeah. In an alternate timeline, if you didn't hate Disney, what theme park would they have been? We talked about the Star Wars land a long time ago.
We already solved that problem, but they're not going to listen to us. If I erase everything I know about Disney for the last 15 years, and I go back to liking Disney, Star Wars Land would have been it.
Yeah, Star Wars Land would have been it.
Star Wars because it perfectly encapsulates the universe of Star Wars. The middle of the park would have been the Death Star.
Yeah, like Epcot.
Right, and then everything around the Death Star would have been a different planet.
Right? The different, yeah.
Right, everything around the Death Star would have been a different planet.
Which someone made a drawing of it.
Yeah.
My number 2 pick would have been a Pixar land. Everything Pixar. It would have just been a whole park of all the movies and all the stuff, different rides of Pixar.
Total kids park. Total.
Yeah. That's what would be my thing. Travis, I'm not going to, and I don't know what this one is. In 10 years, do they renew it again?
I think it's awesome that if in the Star Wars land that's made up in my head, where Hoth would actually look like snow, but when you go at the inside of anything, it's fucking butt ass cold.
Oh,
like
yeah,
actually,
well,
they're actually in Hoth, like that type of thing. Yeah.
I'll do this other question that you have. It says, this is for both of you. What book or movie would you want adapted into a game?
You already know the answer, Travis. This is a loaded question. You already know the answer. It's a loaded question.
Mine would be Exo Squad. And it's a show. I would like to make it into a movie and a game. Exo Squad. Like a Mass Effect, but Exo Squad.
Exo Squad would be a combination between Battlefield and Robotech.
I would say Robotech and Mass Effect is what I would like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to answer this, Travis. You already know.
Travis, okay. Krebsy says, how common do you think it will get for of person falls in love with Game of Thrones chatbot? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. That was a thing. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'll bring it up for a second.
We'll pass that off to next week. We can talk about that later.
Well, no, there's
society's crumbling. That's all you need to know.
Here's what you need to know, Sarge. A 14-year-old kid fell in love with an AI bot and then deleted himself.
What can I say? Women are harsh.
Yeah. So
even ones that are programmed.
Altern says, do you see a future where Helldivers is in Game Pass, either PC or Xbox Game Pass? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
You don't think it's going to go on? I think they're going to realize that they can't milk the anymore. And they're going to put it on Game Pass.
No, I don't think they're going to go on Game Pass at all. Just because one, it's Sony. I don't think they'll do that. But just because of the business model, I think Helldivers is a good value for what it is. A $40 game, and they're not trying to, microtransaction you for everything that they got. I mean, there's cosmetics and stuff there, but I think it's a solid game. I don't think they need to go. It doesn't need to go to Game Pass.
It's not about need to go.
Yeah, I guess.
You're saying need. No one needs to do it.
Your MLB is on Game Pass, but it's also egregious with microtransactions and packs they sell. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference, Altern. Like MLB, the show is on there because they know people like sports. Sports is huge, right? Behind gaming, sports is like one of the biggest things out there. And they microtransaction people off the card packs and stuff and whatnot.
Do you remember playing on the stoop up in New York where you used to buy
Of
packs of baseball? Let me finish. Packs of baseball cards.
Uh-huh.
We would make teams up, and then we play the baseball game on that little board with the stats.
Yep.
It was basically fantasy baseball, but we're actually using the players.
Yeah.
We played rounds of baseball. Remember that?
Yep.
They need to bring that kind of shit back.
Yeah. I made up my own football game. It was a board game. It's actually still in my old room in the closet, I think. It's a board.
We played that for hours. We would scout for players.
Yep.
Do trades and then actually have games with the baseball cards.
Yep. It was awesome. That's before phones and stuff. So
before anything.
Yeah. All right. The last question I have here says, Travis, do either of you have something you really want to see be shown at the Game Awards or Game of the Year or nah? Just anything they show is great. Yeah, I have nothing. I mean, I'll be honest. No. I would like to see some sort of fucking update of the game that doesn't exist anymore or does exist. Transformers Reactivate. Yeah, that's what I want to see. And no matter, I'll say this right now. No matter what they show or what they do, I'm gonna like it. But it's gonna come out. It's gonna be broke, buggy, and unfinished. But I'm gonna like it because I like Transformers, and I want the Transformers game to do good. But I know it's just gonna be a cash grab for something. It's gonna be my Marvel's Avengers of 2025 or 2026.
There is so many untapped old IP that they can make good use out of right now. Not just Transformers. There's quite a few out there that they just refuse to capitalize on because now they are so butthurt from all the money that they wasted on this other shit and flushing down these IPs down the drain,
right,
that they're afraid to do it. But if you think about it, take a step back and look at the IPs that are around that they haven't capitalized on, they have plenty of options if they want them. They're too butthurt at this time.
So is there something at the Game Awards you want to see, Sarge, or no?
Transformers. I want the Transformers game.
Yeah. All right.
And I don't want Transformers to be like an Elder Scrolls or Black Desert Online or Warframe. That's not what the Transformers. They need a different way of Transformers.
You're getting the first Descendant / Warframe is what you're going to get for Transformers Reactivate. That's what you're getting.
I want it to be more like a story driven.
Well, I think it'll be story driven. I think you're going to unlock, like, if you want. I think you're going to get either a pick of.
I can see the skill tree in my head for a Transformers game. It's insane.
Like, you're going to get Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, or Megatron.
What you can transform into, what their abilities are for that kind of ability for transforming. Like, it would be amazing.
You pick one, and then you're going to have to earn the rest. That's the way it'll be.
Listen, but you would need some serious programmers, artists, to make those guys look amazing.
They looked good in the footage that we saw for the stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens when it comes down to it. That's going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories. That's it from the past week, and we rant along the way. If you guys like what we do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. You can listen to us on Spotify. By the way, if anyone's interested, not that it's one side or the other, Donald Trump is going to be on Joe Rogan, the largest podcast on the planet, on tomorrow.
Did it clear?
Yeah, he's going to be there on there tomorrow. So we'll see how many people it gets listened to, because and he's invited both candidates on the way. By the way, he's invited Kamala, and
it might be the most watched one ever. It might be.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. So. Just put it out there for people that care about that stuff or whatnot. So we do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be playing Call of Duty Campaign because it's on Game Pass. I'm going to be going live around 10 or 10:30 in the morning. And I think it's live tomorrow by that time. Is it not? Please tell me.
Oh, it comes out tomorrow?
I think it comes out tonight or tonight. Yeah, something like that.
I thought it was a Tuesday release.
No, it's tomorrow, I believe. Chat, is Call of Duty out tomorrow for everybody, or do you have to pay early or access or whatnot?
It was Tuesday release. I thought it was Tuesday.
No, I think it's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Chat will let us know in just a second.
Was it not the 29th? I thought it was the 29th. Am I losing it?
Here, I'll look it up real fast before we go.
I could swear it was Tuesday.
I mean, you might be right.
Tonight midnight. Okay.
There you go. It's at midnight release tonight. So yeah, so we'll play it tomorrow morning. We'll play the campaign. And then if I like it, if we don't finish it, obviously we won't finish it.
Game Pass.
Yeah, we'll probably play it on Monday as well. Fly to New Zealand, you can play it now. Yeah, it's a long flight. I don't know if I want to do that tonight. So yeah, tomorrow morning we'll do a live stream. It will be open to everyone to come and watch, but only members will be able to chat in the morning stream because it is a bonus stream on Fridays, and I'm trying to think of ways to have extra streams for members for showing your support towards us. So I appreciate that very much. You guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Game on, guys.
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.